Hello, good evening everybody, and welcome to our alternative audio coverage of the second quarter-final match of the day. It is the Netherlands against Argentina. I'm your alternative host, Nicholas Jones, and you are listening to the Commentary Hub. And I'm delighted to have with me as our commentators, John Stuttard and Luke Turton. But at first we're going to start with Luke. Good evening, Luke. Close run thing earlier between Brazil and Croatia going to penalties. Will this be a similar situation for the Netherlands against Argentina?
Good evening, Nick. Good evening, everyone. I hope not. I hope we can get this sorted in 90 minutes because that means we'll have goals and a winner. But a lot of games in the knockout stages have gone to penalties now, so it's the possibility.
And if that is the case, it will. And if that is the case, this will be a repeat of the 2014 semi-final of the. It'll be a repeat of the semi-final in the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. The match was 0-0 after extra time, and so it went to penalties. Argentina won the shootouts 4-2, and both sides are both nations are hoping that it will not be a repeat of what's happened 8 years ago. We're also going to fetch in John Stuttard right about now. John, good evening.
Good evening, Nick. Good evening, Luke. Good evening, everybody. Well, what a game this promises to be. And also, I should remind you, I know we're talking a long time ago here, but in 1978, these two teams clashed in Buenos Aires for the World Cup, and Argentina won 3-1 after extra time when everyone thought, but it was a game, of course, shrouded in controversy. Let's hope we don't get any controversy this evening, folks. But also, the Dutch beat both teams have won 2 and lost. Both teams have won 2 each and lost 2 each. That's been the one draw in 2006, a very uneventful group game that finished 0-0, but I'm sure we're not going to get that tonight. But what I will say is it's going to be very, very good. Anyway, let me give you the all important 2-11s because I think we'll give you that now. So we're going to start with Holland. I'm going to call them Holland as opposed to the Netherlands because it's easier to do during the commentary because it could be a quick pace one tonight. These two teams, they're attacking it. So we're going to go for Holland. Andries Noppert of Heerenveen in goal, wins his 5th cap tonight. And then at the back, we've got Duran Timber, Virgil van Dijk, Nathan Ake and Denzel Dumfries of Inter Milan. And then we've got Martin de Roon, Frankie de Jong of Barcelona. Dylan Buendia actually wins his 99th cap tonight, incidentally. Cody Garodi Capo is really coming to his own in this tournament. 3 goals in the competition already. Wins his 14th international cap tonight. Memphis Depay, who's been there, seen it and done it. 86th cap for him tonight. And Steven Bergwijn, now of Ajax, formerly at Tottenham, completes the lineup within his 28th cap. Now for Argentina. Obviously, we know about Messi and we know about the likes of Alexis McAllister, well, English fans will do, but you probably, and Nicolas Otamendi, amongst others, and Romero, but you might not want to know 1 or 2 of the others. So let me give you that to you. They're 11. Emi Martinez of Aston Villa, as he calls, is in goal with his 24th cap tonight. And then it's back 3, we believe, with Christian Romero, Nicolas Otamendi, and Lisandro Martinez, who plays for Manchester United, new signing for them this season, winning his 14th cap. And then Molina and Acuna are both I think would be wing backs with Deport, Fernandez and McAllister in there. Julian Alvarez of Manchester City is there, and Lionel Messi winning his 170th cap no less. Starts up front. He's also, like Garpo, has also got 3 goals in the tournament already, so both of them outscoring Cristiano Ronaldo in every sense. The referee tonight comes from Spain, Antonio Mateo Laos. But what I will say is, this game really has the capacity to be very good. You've got 2 coaches at the end of managerial spectrum, at the top end of the spectrum, at 73-year-old Louis van Gaal is in his 2nd spell as the Dutch manager, after spells at Barcelona, Manchester United, amongst other clubs. And then you've got Lionel Scaloni, only 44 years old, has been in charge since 2018 and has won the Copa America in the last 18 months. So it's a real clash of styles. It's a real clash of an experienced coach against a much younger coach. I think this could be a good quarter-final. One hopes, though, Nick, that it doesn't go to extra time. Otherwise, I'll be very bleary-eyed to Swimming World tomorrow.
Indeed. But Argentina must hope that this isn't a repeat of the last time they messed at the quarter-final stage, which was back in 1998. Dennis Bergkamp, if you remember, won the match for the Dutch in the 90th minute to make it 2-1 after being level for much of the game. But they would subsequently lose their semi-final match, though they won't have to worry about Brazil because, as we know, they were knocked out on penalties to Croatia. But back to the here and now. I'd say the players to look out for both for Holland could well be Cody Gakpo and Memphis Depay. Also want to take into consideration Denzel Dumfries. He scored in their last match against the USA, and they've been unbeaten in 19 competitive matches. Do you think this could well spur them on throughout this match?
Possibly. I think you were talking to me. Yeah. It could well. It could well be, Nicholas. But I've got a good feeling about this game tonight. I think it'll be a 5-goal thriller. I'm going to sit on the fence and I'm not say who's going to win it. But what I will say, it'll be a 5-goal thriller, and it could be 3-2 either way. This game has got the potential. As I said, as I was building up at the start there, you've got Cody Gakpo, who's come from nowhere, the PSV man, to score the 3 goals he's got. He scored 13 in 6, which tells you what you need to know, that he's taken to international football like a duck to water. As for Messi, been there, seen it, done it. My only criticism of Messi, and this might sound very controversial here, I don't think he's the greatest of all time. And the only reason I say that is because I think he's had it too easy at Barcelona and latterly at PSG. He's never had to face too much of really good opposition. Yeah, when he's done it in big finals, he's always come up trumps. But when I'm talking about is very, very tough opposition, not the sort that you'd face in Spain or France every week. And that's my big problem with Messi. As talented player as he is, to people to say he's the greatest of all time when he's not really played in a proper competitive league where there's only 2 teams that basically you have to beat in Spain, the Madrid clubs, and PSG, practically nothing at all. It speaks volumes that he hasn't really been tested properly at club level, apart from a few Champions League knockout games. So, I'm a bit dubious to say where he's to go. Maradona and, of course, Pele will be the greatest of all time. And I hope Pele is recovering well, incidentally, from his illness as well. He's still alive, I'm told, but and he wouldn't have got it in his heart in Brazil going out the World Cup today. But I think it'll be 3-2 one way or the other. But we've got a good matching prospect tonight.
Quick final opinions from Luke before I hand over to you both. What do you make of Argentina? They've really made up for their disappointing start against Saudi Arabia, and it's fair to say that Messi's coped really well with the expectation on his shoulders. But how do you think? But Luke, how do you think both teams will do tonight?
I think Argentina have a bit of quality in that midfield with Enzo Fernandez behind Alvarez and Messi. But again, I've been championing Holland for most of the tournament with Gakpo and Dumfries. I've always liked Dumfries in tournaments. So, I couldn't possibly call this one, Nicholas, to be honest.
We're about 6 minutes before. We're about 6 minutes away from kickoff. So I think now's the time to hand over to our commentators, Luke Turton and John Stuttard.
Yes, Nicholas, thank you very much indeed. Welcome along to this quarter-final, the second one. Winners, of course, will play Croatia, to my internal disgust. But fair play, if you can hold Brazil and then take them to penalties, then you've done a good thing, I suppose. But hope you can hear me okay. But what a game it promises to be as a team come out. Luke Turton's alongside me for this one, if you can hear me, Luke. How do you think it'll go tonight?
Like I was saying to Nicholas, I couldn't possibly call Ruby. It's a bit of a tough one to call because there's two top quality sides. So we'll just have to see what happens.
Absolutely. Well, the teams are all ready for the national anthems, and we're going to pause now for about a couple of minutes and to bring you those national anthems right now. We're going to start, of course, with the Argentine national anthem. And in just a moment or two, remember, this has to go the distance tonight. Extra time or penalties, or even 90 minutes. But here, first of all, is the Argentine national anthem. I should also say that I should actually say at this point that that it was the Dutch national anthem and not the Argentinian national anthem as before. But now we will bring you the Argentinian national anthem. The second time of asking. Beautifully sung, the two national anthems, and now we get to the nitty-gritty of the two lineups. As the players shake hands before the start of this game, the Argentinians out in force, and of course you have the sea of orange that follows Holland about, but mostly the support really is for Argentina, and I'm sure there'll be a sea of orange somewhere in the stadium. Let's take a check on the two lineups in just a second. Let's start with Holland, and they line up with Noppert in goal for them. A back four tonight, a back three tonight of Timber, Van Dijk and Nathan Ake. And then five in midfield with Daley Blind, Frankie de Jong, Memphis Depay, Martin de Roon and Denzel Dumfries. And then former Tottenham player Steven Bergwijn, and the star of the show up front, Cody Gakpo, who's got 3 goals so far. So Virgil van Dijk will play in the centre of that back three with Blind and Dumfries going down both left and right flanks. Well, we check on the Argentinian side as Messi comes over to shake hands with his opposite number Virgil van Dijk there, the captain of Holland. Let me give you the referee tonight. Antonio Mateo from Spain, Paul Cibrian and Roberto Diaz are the 2 assistants. And then we've got Victor Gomez is the 4th official, as the coin toss is just conducted. Nice cordial smiles between the 2 of them. We check on VAR, which tonight is led by Alejandro Hernandez of Spain. Right. Let's take a check on that Argentinian lineup, shall we? In goals for them, Emi Martinez of Aston Villa. And then it's a back three, we believe, of Lisandro Martinez, Nicolas Otamendi, formerly of Manchester City, and Christian Romero of Manchester United. And it's Acuna, Brighton's Alexis McAllister, Fernandes, De Paul and Molina. And then up front, Julian Alvarez in Manchester City, and PSG's Lionel Messi, when he needs 170th cap tonight, also has scored 94 goals in that time. Again, a back three, but Acuna and Molina will be further forward down the wings. One criticism that's always been aimed at Lionel Messi down the years to stop them maybe being the greatest of all time, Luke Turton, is the fact that he's never won a World Cup, Lionel Messi. What do you think his chances are tonight against this very, very well organised Holland side?
Well, you always know he can pull off something special, but I think he's got to make sure that he brings all the players into play, and the team have to play up to his strengths as well. So, I mean, there's a chance for him tonight, but it's not going to be easy against his well-drilled Dutch back line.
It certainly isn't, and the atmosphere is building up to a real crescendo here in Rosario. It's Holland in those all-orange shirts, Argentina in their old strip, their traditional strip of blue and white stripes. Get us underway. So it's Holland away. They're going to go to the right. They're playing from right to left, and already a foul there on one of the Argentinians, high foot, and a free kick. It is to Argentina. Of course, the Hollands have never won the World Cup. 1974 and 1978 and 2010. They got to the final 3 times in those years, came up short. 2-1 against West Germany in 74, when led for a first-minute goal by Neeskens. 78, when these two teams met in Buenos Aires, and there was a lot of controversy. Rennie van der Kerkhof's Casterplast controversy and all that sort of thing. And Argentina won, although there were claims in those days that it was a touch suspicious, especially when they beat Peru 6-0 in one of the second round of group games, which got them there to the final. And in 2010 they faced, well, they were a bit underwhelming, shall we say, against the Spanish. Spain, good football winning over the end in South Africa that year. Argentina 78, as I said, in 86, where a certain Mr. Maradona inspired them to victory, even if he did punch the ball in the back of the English net. But about 4 minutes later, we scored one of probably the best goals of all time, again against England. But he's certainly shown in that. They've also been runners-up on a few occasions. 2014, their most recent run to the final, and of course in 1990, where they had 2 players sent off in a very, very unmemorable final in Italia 90 in Rome against West Germany, who won by a late Andy Bremer goal and spared everybody boredom that night, because if that had gone to extra time, goodness knows what it would have been like. It had just been boring. It was one of the worst matches I've ever seen. 2 minutes gone. Here come Argentina. Number 8 on the ball here, Acuna, who's actually one booking away from receiving a suspension for the semi-finals, and that also applies to Nathan Ake and Frankie de Jong on the Dutch side of things. So them 3 players that are out on the field. There are several other Argentinians and Dutch players on the benches that could still come on and could get themselves booked in out of a semi-final. Winners play Croatia. I'm still a little bit bemused and disgusted that my tip have gone. Brazil, I fancied them very strongly at the start of the tournament. They were knocked out on penalties by, shall I say, a very dull Croatia side. Nothing dull about Louis van Gaal. His teams do play good football. They played good football in the last round to win their game 3-1 in the US. Very good game. Argentina needed Messi's guile to get past a plucky Australia 2-1. So they've not had it all their own way, the Dutch or the Argentines, in getting this far. Of course, the Argentinians, of course, were beaten early doors by Saudi Arabia. Maybe that just proved to be a bit of a fake result and a wake-up call. Here's Virgil van Dijk. We've had 3 minutes gone, and I should also tell you that Luke Turton's YouTube channel is taking the commentary tonight. Turton Talks Football is also taking commentary, along with our usual our usual outputs tonight, JB Sports Storm FM and TC Hub 1 and TC Hub 2. As number 8 is down there, Cody Garpo. He's down at the moment. It's been a bit bitty, I must say, Luke, in the opening stages. Maybe the tension and the nervousness there. Oh dear, there was a bit of an accidental collision there. That'd have been painful. Saw one in the morning, but it's been a bit bitty to start with, hasn't it? But maybe the tension of a quarter-final, you dare not lose. I mean, it does creep into some of the players, that fear factor, doesn't it? Knowing that it has to be decided on the evening.
Yeah, nobody wants to really slip up in the first 5 minutes, and I think it's showing that a little bit with a careful play. But again, I think the sides will settle down and we get a few chances soon.
Well, so we get a good game of football. Here's Lionel Messi, the little magician, as he plays the ball out to the near side, of the far side row. The ball comes in, shot comes in, and it gets a deflection, looks high in the air, and there was a couple of clearances away there by Dutch defenders, but Lionel Messi there, even at 37 or 37, 38 years old, still running and ragged a little bit. Of course, that'll be a good battle. Virgil van Dijk against Lionel Messi. They've met before in Champions League terms. You can forget that memorable night at Anfield well over 3.5 years ago when Liverpool needed 4 goals and plenty of snookers and got just that on a memorable night. I remember doing that game, and it was one of the best games of football I've ever covered. Meanwhile, Argentina and Nicolas Otamendi have been penalised. Referee Rajoz of Spain just making sure that everything's above board, and a free kick has been given. Of course, that one been known for the total football 50 years ago under the late great Johan Cruyff. He certainly invented the word total football. They have won the European Championships on one occasion when Howard and Van Basten scored against the then USSR in 1988. Of course, Marco Van Basten's volleyed goal is one of the great goals of all time, in my opinion. To take it first time on the volley from a very acute angle was something special. Still, not if you've just joined us. Not really much happening. It's Argentina now have possession here. There's Lisandro Martinez. There are 2 Martinez. We've got Lisandro on the ball here and goalkeeper Eni, who plays, of course, for Lisandro Martinez plays for Manchester United. Emi, of course, plays for Aston Villa. And Arsenal fans will remember him. So I'm sure Mike Harneman will have done that before. And of course, you've got to keep your comments coming in. We've got a couple from Paul James, one of our commentators who has been with us the whole time. He goes on to say good afternoon, gentlemen, or gents. Gents is more informal. Keep it informal, Paul. But gents. No goals to tell you about. Just to remind you that Croatia and Brazil drew 1-1 today, and Croatia won 4-2 on penalties. Don't forget, 2 more quarterfinals coming up on all the TCL platforms tomorrow. We've got Portugal against Morocco at 3 o'clock with Russ and Luke, and then Luke again is on for a double shift, I believe, because he'll be joining Nicholas Jones as well. Or England against France. That will kick off at 7 o'clock tomorrow. You'll be able to hear all them on all the TCL platforms, and then we'll have the semi-finals, we'll have the 3rd place playoff, and I can confirm that me and Luke are going to be the commentary team a week on Sunday for the final, which sadly will not include Brazil, but we hope, Luke, it may well include England. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Got to hope, but let's just take it one game at a time, JB.
Quite right too. 0-0 here as the ball comes forward. It's Dumfries, rather Timber on the ball now, from Dumfries' pass, and he goes back to Andreas Nopev, a very inexperienced goalkeeper at international level, incidentally, winning only his 5th cap tonight. The Dutch goalkeeper, no place for Jasper Sillerton, which baffled me, but the Dutch are going with a younger side. Nicholas sent me a little statistic through, that the average age of both sides are around about 28 to 28 and a half, so they're pretty well matched in terms of average age, these two lineups. So that could have some bearing. We'll just have to wait and see. Again, if you need reminding, the rules for the knockouts as Holland try to go on the attack and it breaks down through Memphis Depay there. Just to remind you that if you didn't listen to the Brazil game earlier with Russ and Paul, just to remind you that we do need a decision here tonight as Messi takes control, squirms away like a little eel and gets the ball out to the far side where number 26 has it now, Molina. Molina has to check back. I'll remind you of the rules of the knockouts in a minute because Argentina are attacking away to my left-hand side as I look. Space here for the number 8 on this side, which is Acuna. Acuna goes back, uses Martinez. Martinez in turn now uses Nicolas Otamendi, who's the more experienced out of the 3 centre-backs Argentina are employing at the back. Depay now uses Otamendi again. So just to remind you, if it's level, whether it's 0-0, 2-2, 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, etc., etc., if it's level at any of those scores, could even be 4-4, who knows, at the end of 90 minutes, then we would have extra time, and if it's still level after that, we have half an hour, so we have a 15-minute period each way, quarter of an hour each way, and if it's level after those 2 periods of 15 minutes, then we will have a penalty shootout as the ball is knocked in there towards Julian Alvarez, but it's knocked away. Here goes Lionel Messi. Good ball there. Ball knocked back across the Dutch penalty area there by Acuna, but the ball runs into touch on the far touch line, and it will be a Dutch throw. Well, Luke, Argentina starting to come to the party in the opening 10 minutes.
Yeah, they're starting to get more into the game and creating more of the obvious chances, but this end product again doesn't seem to be quite there just yet. I seem to say that a lot in the first 10 minutes of my games gone, really, but, you know. I'm gonna
have to, if I'm gonna work with you more often, Luke, I'm gonna have to get used to that comment, aren't I?
Yeah, you probably are.
As we look there at, well, as me and Luke look at Lino Scaloni, as I say, he's been in charge since 2018 after Argentina were knocked out in the round of 16 of the World Cup. They have gone on and won a major competition, the 2021 Copa America. They beat Brazil incidentally in the final, and that sort of banished the myth that Messi hadn't won an international tournament, but still to win the big one. Ronaldo's still in the hunt to win the World Cup himself, and England, if they get past the French, could potentially meet Ronaldo in the semi-finals, but we would be doing a disservice to Anas Zaharia and Morocco at that point. And from a Burnley fan's point of view, I'd love to see Zaharia and his boys reach the semi-finals. Although the bookies would have you believing that Ronaldo and his Portuguese side would shine through. But I think the trick with Portugal is leave Ronaldo out and you do the job. But we'll just have to wait and see tomorrow afternoon how those 2 games will pan out. And as I said before, you can listen along on all the TCUB platforms. Also, we'll be on Twitch as well. So on these YouTube channels, TCUB, TCUB2, JB Sports and Storm FM and Twitch. We're also live on Twitch tonight, incidentally, and Turton Talks Football. And thank you, Luke, for agreeing to stream the match on your channel. It's a real privilege to be back on that again, having been a guest on your podcast earlier on, which was quite a nice experience, talking about Nottingham Forest and 1 or 2 other things. Still 0-0. Are you quite pleased? Just whilst we're having a quiet spell, are you quite glad now that the City Ground's finally in FIFA then?
Yeah, I am, JV. I mean, it'd be nice if it was on all modes, but at least it's there on one mode at least.
Yeah. Here come Argentina, cross back, and it was a good run there by McAllister of Brighton. He's another player that the Dutch will have to watch with great effect because he's had a good season for Brighton thus far. Good assist maker, can score goals as well. It certainly has been an instrumental start to Brighton's good start, even though they did lose Graham Potter earlier on this season. Now there's a free kick being given, and the referee wants words with Romero, I think. Well, he got the ball, but he went in a little bit recklessly there, possibly, Luke. But he did go in there very committed.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a reckless tackle, but at the end of the day, I think it's just a word.
Yeah, and I think that's good, sensible refereeing by the Spanish referee, I've got to say. you know, you don't want to, the last thing you want to be doing is brandishing yellow cards like it's confetti. Not at this early stage of a knockout match. But I think he'll referee with sense, with common sense and sensibility, really. Here's number 2 on the ball, Timber, who's had a decent tournament, the Ajax Amsterdam man. Quite close in possession terms. Argentina just shading it a touch, maybe. Hard to tell from that caption. Hard to tell from that caption whether those statistics are right or not, but I'll try and get some more better statistics later on, maybe maybe at half time. But certainly Argentina have dominated the last sort of 4 or 5 minutes. But at the moment it's just slowed down to a bit of a pedestrian type pace here at the moment. But Argentina in possession, long ball forward, looking for Julian Alvarez, but he couldn't have been found anyway, and it's back with Nopev, the goalkeeper. Dumfries battles hard in that area, and now the Dutch get it. The all orange come forward again. De Roon has it, the former Middlesbrough man. Would you believe it? He played for Middlesbrough for a season in 2016-17. Here's Timber going forward. Infield it goes to Depay. Now then, we could see a good break on here for Holland. The first time they've really shown their stuff as the ball comes in towards the back post. Not back across, and the heads go up. Depay was in there as the ball was hooked back across by De Jong, and that could have easily been the first goal there for Holland there. And it's the first time in the opening quarter of an hour, Luke, that they've shown a bit of promise, the Dutch.
Yeah, but it all came from basically from overloads in different positions, with the centre-backs coming forward, running at them, and then feeding the ball through into other areas and creating space, which so far for Holland they haven't been doing. They've been stuck in their own kind of shape. Whereas if you just venture out a little bit and take the game to Argentina, that'll be where you create your chances. Because I think Argentina are happy to just let Holland have the ball in their own half.
Yeah, and when you have the ball in your own half, you're not penetrating, are you? I think that's the point. As Virgil van Dijk, Liverpool comes forward. Liverpool vice captain. He's not the actual captain of Liverpool, but he is the Dutch captain, leader of men on the field. Here's Timber, who's really had a decent World Cup so far. And here's number 7, Steven Bergwijn. Can't really tell those black numbers in those orange shirts, can you? It's very hard to distinguish one from the other, but it's not as bad as when I covered your team at the FA Cup at the start of the year, when Arsenal wore white shirts to promote gun crime in their area of North London, and they wore white numbers and white shirts. I couldn't tell the difference between one Arsenal player to the other. My mate got through it, but thankfully Forest won the day 1-0. I'm sure you don't need me to remind you of that, Luke.
And at least the team with more visible numbers and visible kits than for the JB.
Absolutely. Russ has been on, says good evening. Well, lads, not gents. I'm certainly a lad. Luke certainly is. But here's Timber, who's made some good runs, and that's a good run by Bergwijn, but the goalkeeper, Andy Martinez, was lightning fast off his line. But Timber, so far, Luke, has done some good work down that right flank, and a nice idea to play the ball in, but maybe just hit it a little bit too much, with a bit too much force, maybe.
Again, it's the final end product goal, JB. The run was brilliant, and I think they're not really wised up to the overload from Timber, so that's where they're getting a bit of joy down that side. Because I think they'll know a bit more about Dumfries, but, you know, better ball and they'll put it in.
Absolutely. Here's Van Dijk now on the ball. Game slowly away, starting to liven up a little bit after a timid first 10 minutes. Here's Nathan Aki with the long hair, comes forward. He's going forward, and he's liking to come forward for a centre back. He should be really helping out in defence, really, but De Roon has it now. Van Dijk, Holland keeping the ball nicely here as we hit the 18th minute here at the Lusail Iconic Stadium. sure whether this stadium's iconic or not. We'll have to find out what legacy it leaves. Here's Timber now. Here's Denzel Dumfries, number 22, linking up well with Stephen Bergwijn. And it's a Argentinian throw, and the referee having to come across. Bergwijn wanted a possible free kick there, but the referee wasn't interested, or maybe he's having a word with one or two Argentinian substitutes by the looks of it, and it looks like Di Maria. It is Di Maria. Maybe he was just a little bit out of order there, but it all gets diffused with a nice giggle and a smile, and Argentina get the decision and a free kick as it turns out. 19 minutes gone then. World Cup quarter-final, second one. Argentina against Holland. Remember, Croatia winning 4-2 on penalties after a 1-1 draw against Brazil. My tip are out, so shows how good a tipster I am, really. But,
you're better than me, JB. I picked Belgium.
Well, yeah. Well, if you picked Belgium, you should have kept your money in your pocket. But mind you, France are still in it. There's still some big teams left in it, of course. Portugal and France and England, and But I think, we all hope England. I mean, I backed Brazil and France to get to the final. I secretly hope I don't now. I like England to get through. Anyway, here come Holland now inside the penalty area. Good turn. They get a corner out of it. Off the defender there, which was Nicolas Otamendi. Good turn this by Memphis Depay, who's a real customer. It allows the license of Van Dijk and people like that to go forward. There are Denzel Dumfries is just by the penalty spot. Martin de Rooney's by the penalty spot, being heavily marked. We've had 20 minutes here. It's going to be a corner kick. Cody Gakpo gets it back again. Gakpo's cross in towards the penalty area. It went towards the near post, but the Argentinians had a good load of players back in that penalty area and defended it very competently. Here go the Dutch again. But in the end, they can't get it forward, and the Argentinians, not renowned for their sensible defend that rather well. But after a timid start, nothing wrong with that challenge at all by Molina. No complaints from the Argentinians. After a timid first sort of 10-15 minutes, the game starting to open up into a pretty decent competitive game. Messi's on the chase. Robert Alvarez, sorry, is on the chase. Messi's taking up a bit of a deeper role, I've just noticed there. We're halfway through the first half then on the TC Hub, JB Sports, Storm FM, Turton Talks Football and TC Hub 2. And we're on Twitch tonight. Don't forget, just wait a minute, here's Messi. Messi trying a speculative left footer from outside the area. And Messi just playing with the accuracy and the final end product, which you've alluded to about 3 or 4 times already tonight, Luke. And that's probably been the one frustration so far about the first 22 minutes, really.
Yeah, I don't think I was ever going to go in because he got too far under the ball. I mean, I think you could have a competition for the amount of games that I have watched in this tournament, which is most of them. And there was at least one chance like that in the game where they just ballooned it straight over the bar. You'd expect better from Messi's profile. Yeah,
but at the end of the day, he's not a robot, he's a human being, and they all make errors. And those balls, of course, when Adidas brought out this ball, this was supposed to be the best one yet. Out of all the World Cup balls we made, personally, I prefer the Tango ball from 78 and 82. That was the defining Adidas ball of the World Cup. Although the Luttress in that comeback. The design of it is not exactly my cup of tea. As I said, I'm very, very old school that way, Luke, I've got to be honest. But at the moment, it's 0-0, and we're halfway, as I say, through the first half. One ball forward, looking for Denzel Dumfries, but he can't be found. Again, the idea was okay, Luke. The execution, again, from De Roon this time, not so.
Yeah, too much power over here, and I mean, even Dumfries with his pace was not going to get to that, even if he times it by about 5.
I've speeded it up about plus 10, potentially. But at the moment, it's still 0-0. think this could be a common theme if they don't get it right tonight, Luke. With the commentary, we might be repeating ourselves, and at the risk of repeating ourselves, it will be that way. Just to remind you, everybody, that if you want to follow us on Twitter, commentary up that is, check out our Twitter address, Twitter handle at Commentary Live 1. Here come the Dutch inside the area. Shot comes in and it's gone wide from Steven Bergwijn, or rather Memphis Depay with his left foot. Well, it was one of the two anyway. Let's just try and clear it up. But it was a nice little break here. I think it might have been Bergwijn who actually had the final shot. Indeed, it was. Again, not for the first time tonight. Execution lacking again. Maybe just scuffed it at the final moment and maybe got too excited at that crucial point, Luke.
Yep, I don't think the action was there either. I think he was aiming far too wide.
Well, let's just hope the quality of the shooting picks up, otherwise we might be on repeat mode all night. But at the moment it's still slowly away, bubbling nicely. At least both teams are having shots at goal, which is encouraging. But there's so much at stake. A World Cup semi-final berth, you're 2 games away from potentially being in the World Cup final. It's the stakes now at this stage of the tournament so very, very high as Dumfries tags Acuna. Free kick to Argentina on the near side, the Argentinian left. And 1 or 2 Argentinians smiling away. Well, if you can afford to smile at this point, it's been very disappointing to see not many orange supporters, Dutch supporters in orange, but there's a few spots of orange around the stadium as I look around the Lusail Stadium. Here's number 13 now, Romero, comes forward, goes inside. Ball laid in, Messi dummies, Messi gets it back. Can the Argentinian captain inspire his team as he's done for the previous 169 occasions? Scored 94 goals, not as good a rate as Ronaldo for Portugal, admittedly, but still an impressive statistic. Mind you, half the countries both of these teams were playable have been very inferior. And again, this is what stops Ronaldo and Messi being the greatest of all time in a lot of ways, playing against, with respect, inferior opposition, and that's why I'm never put them above the likes of Messi and the likes of Maradona, and Pele and George Best as the greatest of all time, because they had the gift to take on any opposition and beat them with their skill. And possibly Johan Cruyff, you could actually put him in that bracket too, because he invented the phrase total football with the old Cruyff turn. There's a knife up there on Alessandro Martinez, and it's a free kick to Argentina on the left hand side, I'd say about 15 yards inside the Holland half. And if you are watching, don't forget, if you are listening to us, don't forget, on any of the YouTube platforms, don't forget to hit a like, hit the subscribe button, and of course whatever YouTube channel you're on, hit that notifications bell please as well. Just to remind you, good evening to all the Turton Talks football regulars who listen along on his show. Free kick's been given to the Netherlands, or the Holland, to give it the old money. As Van Dijk takes position, finds Nathan Ake of Manchester City. Liverpool finding Manchester City. That's not a phrase you'd hear too much often in the Premier League, that's for sure. That's a foul there, I thought, there by Cody Capo. It's a free kick, but it's with Argentina anyway. Capo there, I'm not sure whether that was a foul. I think Otamendi has a little bit of a reputation of trying to make a meal of things. 27 minutes gone. It's boiling slowly, but not as quickly as we'd like from an entertainment point of view. Poor kick from Martinez, which gives Holland a chance now from this throw in to be taken by Denzel Dumfries. Can the men in orange get their noses in front here as we approach the final quarter hour of this first half? At least they've been a bit more. At least they've been a little bit more less generous on the stoppage time at the end of each half in the last few World Cup games. I'll come to your comments in fact, we'll come to your comments now, because nothing's coming of any of the attacks at the moment. Paul James. In fact, there's been some breaking news. Tite has left his role as Brazil manager following the defeat, and Paul has responded a bit harsh, given that they're that they really did dominate that game. His win ratio was actually 70%. But what do you reckon about that? Then resignation for the Brazil manager. Bit of a surprise, that one.
Yeah, maybe his target was to win the World Cup, and if he didn't think he was going to go, maybe that was the principle. But they did look dangerous up until today.
They dominated for half. I'd say about 95% of the game. That's why I was frustrated about an hour before kick-off that they'd gone out, because me and Luke have been given the final, and I was really hoping that one of the teams would be Brazil. Of course, I had them as my tip at the start, but unfortunately that hasn't proved to be correct. So if you bet your money with me when you listen to the review show, I just want to apologise unreservedly for me losing probably half your family fortune. Anyway, but we all thought Brazil were going to win it. At the moment, Argentina are not really making many strides themselves here tonight. But I think it would be fair to say that in this opening half an hour, Luke, in a lot of respects, that both teams have cancelled each other out. We'll just wake off for a second, because Argentina are on the attack here with Alexis McAllister. Now then, De Paul. Haven't seen a lot of him tonight. Here's Romero popping up on that right hand side. McAllister to Messi, back to McAllister. Again, the game being slow to it's almost like watching walking football in a lot of respects, because both teams just slowing the pace down, maybe trying to conserve a little bit of energy. But it has been a case, really, Luke, that both teams have really cancelled each other out in essence.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a kind of stop-start, kind of, I'll go forward and you go forward, but not really do much, create much, or get the end products right. I do think that both sides could play more forward passes and less sideways passes.
Now, a yellow card has been brandished to one of the Argentinian coaches. I'm not sure, is it the manager? Apparently he's arguing too much now. Who's got the book in here? I'm assuming it's I'm certain it's Lino Scaloni. We'll get confirmation from obviously the feed that we've got here on our monitors, but I think Lino Scaloni has picked up a yellow card there for possibly complaining too much or saying something out of turn to possibly Mr. Hernandez, the fourth official. Well, I'm certain of that. We'll get confirmation of that, but a yellow card has been brandished, we believe, to the Argentinian manager, Scaloni, and that is not good really, is it? As the ball is not forward, looking towards Alvarez. Messi taking a deeper roll this time. Pass shot was on for him from Alvarez, but Alvarez decided to go towards the penalty area. Here's Messi now. Now we could do a little bit of magic from the Paul Danielson football. Here comes the Paul now. Looking to try and get something going. Here's Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez has to go outside to the far side. Now De Paul has it, still on the right hand side. Goes in field this time. Nicolas Otamendi's trundled forward from centre back. Looking a little salty forward. 32 minutes gone on all TCO platforms and Twitch. TCO Twitch channel. It's Holland 0, Argentina 0 in the second of the 4 World Cup quarter-finals. Remember, we've had Brazil knocked out by Croatia. Very poor Croatian side on balance, on statistics. They were heavily outplayed by Brazil in every department, apart from the scoreline, and they had the luck. They felt they had the luck in the penalties, and now we've got this one tonight. Here come Argentina. Chance there. Shot comes in from De Paul. It's a very tame side right-footed effort, really, with the side of his right foot, and no trouble for Andreas Nopath in the Holland goal. Another shot which was good in idea, Luke, bad in execution. And Marta Samuel actually has been yellow carded, incidentally, for talking out of turn.
Yeah, the shot basically just was straight at Nopath. He didn't even really have to move. So, poor shot. and basically fix the theme of the chances so far.
And a constant theme, if I'm being honest, like in this opening 32 and 33 now and a half minutes. We're inside the last quarter of an hour here in Lusail. Here's the statistic. They've not had one shot at goal. The Dutch have had one, Argentina have had two, but not one up until now, even though I don't think they've counted that last one from Argentina. That did look as if it was on target, even though it was tame. But according to the FIFA statistics, not one has been on target, which sums up the way that both sides have really cancelled each other out. And let's just hope the last sort of 12 minutes of this first half. Oh no, we might get something here! A goal! It's been turned in! And it's Molina who gives Argentina the lead with 11 minutes of this first half to go. Wow, we needed a goal to hide the blue touch paper. We've got it, and it's come from an unlikely source. Manuel Molina of Atletico Madrid scores his 7th international goal in 25 caps and gives Argentina the lead.
Wow, I mean, people can finish in this game then. I mean, it's not as difficult as they've been making it for the first half an hour, but the ball through was brilliant, and then just slid into the corner. I mean, when you're aiming into the corners at pace, you tend to find it will go in. And again, the ball was played through by, was it Messi?
It was Messi, and what a ball it was too.
Yeah, what a ball. What a ball. What a ball, what a goal. We finally see some quality, JB.
Yeah, and you saw it so good, Brooke. You said it was worth saying twice. But a great provider, hugs, goal scorer. It was a world-class through ball for Lionel Messi. Let's not make too much bones about that. And now the Dutch, if they are to reach the semi-finals again, they have to come from behind. 35 minutes gone, and that really sets. Hopefully now that'll knock the Dutch into shape a little bit here. Van Dijk nearly caught out again. Messi was onto him like a flash, but Van Dijk just had enough wayward to get it forward, and in the end it's gone out for an Argentinian goal kick. But the Argentinians now buzzing, and plenty for Louis van Gaal. Only 73 years of him will be tested to the limit. It still looks cool as a cucumber, but inside he will be worried, because his side really in this opening 37 minutes haven't really shown enough quality to warrant even being on parity, let alone in front.
Yeah, I mean, Van Gaal looked very irritated there, to be honest. I think I've seen him look a bit cooler than he does on the bench now, but that's probably...
You're possibly right, yeah. You're possibly right, Luke, because it does look a little bit on the agitated side. Not that he'd show it, but when have I ever been a good reader of body languages? But we've got a player down injured. I think it's DePaul that's gone down there. Referee just making a polite gesture to his wristwatch. I don't think that was called for from the referee, because I think DePaul does look a little bit. Does look genuinely injured. It was a clash of heads with Martin Daroon. So why does the referee have to make a gesture to his wristwatch? I don't know. But clash of heads there. And obviously you've got to take your time with these head injuries these days. Protocol and everything now. You've got to take the player's safety, of course, quite rightly into account. DePaul, I'm pleased to say, he's okay, but he'll have to go off the field. Referee saying, come on, you've got to follow FIFA protocols here. That's how it is. So Argentina now, for the moment anyway, down to 10 men. There's going to be a drop ball in Argentina's favour. When are we going to go? And this is another thing about the modern game that irks me, Luke. I remember when a drop ball used to be contested. Now it's given to one side to start from the back, and that for me just sums up the shambles that is modern football at this moment in time. Whatever happened to a competitive drop ball, Luke? Whatever happened to it?
I have absolutely no idea, JB, but it's just the way the game's gone.
Well, with FIFA in charge, you never You never too certain of sure about certain things these days, I've got to be honest. That's not perfect. We didn't have a prayer on the goal because it was just beautifully tucked away into the left-hand corner. Well, that really now puts Argentina deservedly, I have to say, on the balance of play in the lead. And as I said, a through ball from Messi. There is a determination in his eyes. You can sense it tonight that Messi wants to win this badly. Because as I said, the only thing that's been dished against his name in terms of honours is a World Cup. He's won everything else there is to win in the game at club level and international level. And if he does win the World Cup, then maybe you could put him amongst the greatest of all times, but he'd still be way behind Maradona and Pelé in that department. Here he is now, trying to twist, turn, get away from his man, and gets a shot in right-footed. He did really well, despite Nathan Ake being stuck to him like glue at that for like 2 or 3 seconds before that. Shoved him away and got his shot away. Forget the fact that he hit a tame shot. Just the skill alone to get away from Ake was worth the image fear in itself there, Luke.
That was brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant. The shot didn't even need to be mentioned, to be honest. It's just the skill.
Yeah, I think we should talk about the positives more than the negatives, I think, tonight, Luke. But we've got a positive. We've got a goal in the game. At least it's not going to end goalless, that's for sure. And Holland here, we've got a free kick in a very promising position here because number 8 is Garpo has been fouled there by DePaul. Not DePaul, sorry. Molina, I think it was. So a free kick though, and this is where Holland need to hit back now. 5 minutes to half time. Is Gakpo going to take it, or will it be Daley Blind, of course, winning his 99th cap tonight, son of course of the famous Danny Blind, made in Euro 96 and USA 94 for Holland. Could be Gakpo with the right foot. No, it's going to be the left foot of Daley Blind. No, it's Gakpo into the penalty area. Up go the Dutch heads, and the whistle has gone for a foul, I presume, by Denzel Dumfries. Not sure what happened there. There was a little bit of pushing and shoving, but quite frankly, Luke, it was 6 of one, half a dozen the other. Although, to be fair, there was an Argentine that went down in a heap. I think it was DePaul in that crowd seat.
Yeah, a lot of people hit the deck, and to be quite honest, I'm not quite sure how you'd work that one out.
Well, only the referee will know what he saw and what he didn't see. But it's not been the classic that we all expected, but we have a goal at least, and it was a super goal scored by Molina on 35 minutes, 10 minutes before the break. We're inside the last 4 minutes plus any injury time. I don't think there'll be too much. There's been a few niggly sort of stoppages, but apart from that, there was a minute maybe for DePaul's head injury, but again, nothing much. I can only see, 2, maybe 3 minutes at best. I'm just trying to work out the amount of stoppages that we've had. It has been a bitty sort of game, but I wouldn't think there would be any more than 2, maybe possibly 3 at this stage. 3 minutes of normal time to go in the first half. Holland 0, Argentina 1. You can tell that the World Cup is a week away from finishing because the Championship's back tomorrow. Of course, Burnley take on QPR. I think it's on Sunday they play QPR. Don't quote me on that, but Vincent Kompany's been talking in the media this afternoon. Meanwhile, back to the World Cup, a yellow card again has been brandished quite emphatically there against one of the Dutchmen, and that was Jurien Timber, who up until now has probably been their best player. He's been penalised. Now I'm not sure what he's done wrong there. Oh, that's what he's done wrong, Luke. He's pushed over the Argentinian. He's retaliated.
Silly boy.
Say no more. Right, so we got, and also Acuna has picked up a second yellow card, and if Argentina do get through, which at the moment looks like being the case, and that's for the foul initially, then he will not play in the semi-final should they make it. I can understand Timber's reaction, but as you say, it was a bit silly. So we've got Denzel Dumfries in the heap. He's on the floor. He's off the floor now. The Dutch substitutes are warming up down below us, and at the moment, let me just run through the substitutes that Holland can use. They can use any of their 26-man squad if they're available. So Pasveer, Biao, De Ligt, De Vrij, De Jong, Begunis, Lang, Klaassen, Malaysia, Janssen, Weghorst, Koen-Meyers, Taylor, Simons and Frimpong. I'll give you the Argentina subs after this free kick because Holland have got a real opportunity to get level. Van Dijk is forward. He's going to be left for Gakpo, playing it in towards the back post. It's headed out, still in play with Nathan Ake, who tries to head the ball back into the area, and it's sucked out by the Argentinians. Their bench, Armani and really the two goalkeepers. 1/4, the former Tottenham defender, Talavigo, Monial, Papares, Brazella, Di Maria, Palacios, Correa, Almado, Gomez, Gaido, Paulo Dybala and Martinez. Another yellow card picked up to Christian Romero. So the yellow card starting to tot up there. There was a foul there on Memphis Depay. He had a swing at him. Although I think there may have been hands as well used. So another Netherlands, another Dutch free kick. Are we going to see a late comeback from Holland right at the end of the first half? We've now almost played the 45 minutes. Could well be. Blin, no, it's left the Gakpo to play it in. Van Dijk was free and he just couldn't be found. In fact, the whistle has gone. Nathan Ake may have been accused of pushing over one or two of the Argentines. Another good free kick. Van Dijk, though, was definitely three there. Better delivery, Luke. And, well, Argentina might have been in a bit of trouble. But at the end of it all, as we go into stoppage time, which I don't see it being too much. Well, in fact, well, that's banished my theory, isn't it, Luke? 5 added minutes. I wonder where he's got that from. I mean, apart from the DePaul injury, I can't see it have been. How can he have reckoned to have been 5? That's never. The stoppages have never amounted to 5 minutes, surely.
Well, that's small for this World Cup in stoppage time talk.
Well, I'm lost for words. It's not often you see me lost for words or hear me lost for words. Martinez kicks forward and then finds the other goalkeeper, Mopeth. So, 5 added minutes, and well, only Alejandro Hernandez of Spain will not. Sorry, Victor Gomez of South Africa will only know how he's given that. South Africa not really renowned for its football prowess, more for cricket and rugby union rather than football. But he's given 5 minutes of time added on. I mean, I'm trying to think what other stoppages, apart from a few free kicks here and there. I guess in a way that's been a bit of a bitty one. Another yellow card could be brandished here. The referee again out with a yellow. Now who's he booked this time? He's booked another substitute. He's starting to get a little bit feisty up there, not just on the field but off the field here. Another yellow card this time brandished to Wout Weghorst, the Burnley man, although he's on loan at Besiktas. He's still on the books of Burnley, so Wout Weghorst has been booked. And yeah, you can laugh about it, but if he said something out of turn, there's no excuse, Luke.
I'm not quite sure what's going on with the substitutes, but they just need to behave.
And so we've just, well, we've had an assistant booked. We've had Wout Weghorst booked. He's not even on the field, and it's been a battle royal from both sides. I think as Gakpo tries to flick it on, but he finds Eni Martinez. Another disappointing end to another potential Dutch attack that shows so much promise. But Argentina in front, but you can never write the Dutch off. Both teams last met in the quarter-final in 1998, 24 years ago. Something amounting to that, I think it was. No, I don't think it was 24 years ago. Yeah, it was 24 years ago. Who can forget that famous Barry Davis commentary on Dennis Bergkamp's goal, one of the best World Cup goals there's ever been. And he got the commentary it deserved from the great Barry Davis, who's still with us Here now he's well into his 80s. One of the best commentators. To be only given one World Cup final commentary and 2 FA Cup final commentaries is scant reward for a great commentary career. As Messi tries to flick the ball around the corner. We're halfway through the 5 minutes, incidentally, at the end of this first half, and Argentina leading by a goal to nil, scored in the 35th minute by Molina. I don't think when Ladbrokes put up the odds of first goal scorers, he was amongst the front runners. It would have been the usual suspects: Memphis Depay, Cody Gakpo, Julian Alvarez, Lionel Messi, amongst others, Stephen Bergwijn. Have been the sort of the lower priced odds. It'd be nice to see if we looked how big a price he was. If you had him down as first goal scorer, you might be in for a few quid tonight, folks. Whoever's backed Molina to get the first goal. The Atletico Madrid man has scored his 7th international goal in 25 caps, and that's the situation as we go into the final minute of stoppage time. So with that in mind, another I thought there was another foul there, but there hasn't. But we'll get Luke's thoughts of the first half in a minute, because Holland are on the attack with Timber. Again, looking to Martin de Roon. Once a Middlesbrough had a season there, they were relegated long time ago though. Another, and then he go well. David Blaine went down there wanting a 3 kick. Referee told him to get back up again. It has been that sort of evening so far, and I wish players would just take responsibility and just play the game instead of looking for every nook and cranny for a 3 kick. Yeah, right, we've played the 5 minutes, we should be at half time. We'll get Luke Turton's thoughts about on that first half as soon as the whistle goes, as Lionel Messi now strides away. He's played a crucial part in that Argentinian goal scored by Molina. And well, it's all, I think Holland really need to get in there at half time and sort 1 or 2 things out. Van Gaal maybe needs to get stuck into his troops. Referee still hasn't blown yet, so we're still deep into stoppage time. Your thoughts on what's been really a bitty first half, but saved face by a superb Argentinian goal?
Yeah, it's been a bit kind of scrappy with a few kind of blue chances and product balls being pulled. But apart from that one ball through from Messi and the finish from Molina, apart from that, there really hasn't been much in it this game.
Yep, and we're still playing on, amazingly. And as soon as I say that, the referee blows for half time. We played about 1 minute and 4 over the allotted 5, and I should have stressed at the time that was a minimum of. So the whistle has gone. We ended up playing 6 and a bit minutes of injury time. Messi having a word with the referee there. I'm not sure what they're all about. Maybe it's just a cordial chat, but we'll just see how this develops before we hand back to Nicholas Jones and sum up the first half. But I can tell you that Messi's pass led to the goal scored by Manuel Molina. I don't think many people would have had him down on any bookmaker slips for him to be really the first man to score. Messi just having a word with the referee there, but nothing has come of it. So as he makes his way off the field, Argentina will be the happier of the 2 sides, I would have thought. But Louis van Gaal really needs to get out the old Fergie hairdryer if he's to get his Holland side to get back into this game. Because at the moment, Argentina, by streets, Nicholas Jones, have been the better team. Half time then, Holland 0, Argentina 1.
Thank you, JB and Luke. Well, talk about the first goal coming from an unexpected source, like you said. Manuel Molina was completely unmarked. He came out of nowhere. But Holland, Luke, ever since that Argentina goal, they've been on the back foot for the remainder of the first half. Although they did have a couple of chances with those free kicks, yet they were just completely wasted.
Yeah, I don't really think Holland have been back in the game, to be honest. They've had a lot of the kind of ball in the half, which isn't really going to penetrate, and the no kind of forward runs. You're not really getting in behind with the pace, and that's the only bit of quality in that first half was from Messi through to Molina. That was literally about it.
What do you think Holland will have to do to ensure they have a better second half than the first?
Maybe get a physical presence up front. Maybe get some runners coming in, change it up a little bit, try and get a bit further forward, get the end balls right. I mean, there's a lot for Holland to actually do because currently they're not really getting there.
Yeah, they should have included the likes of Janssen and Klaassen in the starting lineup, which I'm surprised they didn't do. So they could so they may need to up their pace by including them. But Argentina so far, once they got that goal in, to me they just look like they just want to we're just going to hold on to our lead.
I think Argentina were trying to create a few things, but at the end of the day, if you can go with 1-0 up and then reassess, then you can't really fault them for that, to be fair.
It doesn't look like you can, but all I can say is that throughout the tournament, Acuna, Otamendi, and Romero have been really good in defence. Also good in defence, and also good in defence, and also helping out with the midfield has also been the goal scorer Molina. And I'm just checking in a comment from John Gontier. He said that Holland will have to attack more, but this is at the same time dangerous with the counters. So he could have a point there. But in terms of the substitutions, who do you think the Netherlands should bring out?
Good question. I generally don't know at this moment because I think the players on the field with Bergwijn, Depay and Gakpo, they should be able to create something. It's just we're not getting into the more dangerous areas. Maybe David Klaassen comes in for Bergwijn, but apart from that, I can't really say too much.
One thing I've got to mention, which I didn't mention earlier on, which I didn't mention before going into the first half, was that Andres Noppert, the goalkeeper, he initially wanted to join the police when he was unemployed about 2 years ago, but instead of catching criminals, he now catches stray balls. So there you go. You learn something new every day. But in terms of substitutions for Argentina, who would you plunk for?
I think it was the rotation. I think Lautaro Martinez will come on in the second half just to freshen up a little bit. Apart from that, I can't really say. Maybe, yeah, I'd just go for Lautaro Martinez for now.
Okay. All right. We can now fetch it. Now, before we go into the second half, just got time to plug our commentaries coming up for tomorrow at 3 o'clock. It's Morocco against Portugal with Russ and of course Luke. And of course Luke will be working a double shift tomorrow. He's also got me He's also got me alongside him for the big one. England against France. We'll have his thought. We'll have his thoughts on how England will fare at the end of the programme. We're now going to fetch in JB for a moment just to ask what he thinks. What he thinks both teams will need to change for the second half. So JB, what do you think Holland will need to do to change the way that they've been playing? mind. We're just going to. We're just going to. I was actually about to ask you, Luke. You didn't see. Neither you and JB seemed too happy with. Sounded too happy with the inclusion of 5 minutes added on, because to me 5 minutes is because to me 5 minutes is kind of the last bit of what you consider sensible. It's only when it goes past that it starts to become more ridiculous, in my view.
I think that 5 minutes was a bit like classic FIFA, but not. We've seen more extreme numbers, but I think that was the extreme of what we saw. 5 minutes. I mean, you got about a minute for the goal celebrations, about, I'd say, a minute for the complaints of the benches, and about a minute for the ball going down. But apart from that, there were the other 2 minutes.
Yeah, but you get these things all the time at football matches, don't you? So to have this amount of time for me does look kind does to me seem quite sensible. So but let's not argue about this anymore, shall we? We have. It's just unfortunate for us, and also it's just unfortunate for the neutrals that Messi hasn't been seen much up front by way of scoring goals. He did, however. He did, however, score early on in the last game against Australia. People will likely be hoping for a Messi goal to come in the second half. What do you think he needs to do this time?
I think with Messi, it's everybody's doing marking of Messi because they know how dangerous he is. And I think that's why a lot of the Argentinian players are now scoring goals, because everyone is focusing so much on that one player. As for what he needs to score, get inventive. I mean, Messi's got all the skills and the tricks. He can pull into some space and then try and hit a shot. I mean, at the end of the day, I think Messi will probably score maybe in the second half. I'm not sure, but I think he will score again this tournament.
Yes, it does sound. Yes, it does sound like he will. But we're going to take a bit of a short break. But we'll be back very shortly. Welcome back to the Commentary Hub's coverage of Holland against Argentina in the World Cup quarter-finals. Argentina took the lead after a well-timed touch of the ball by Noel Molina, and everyone there is hoping that that there will be more goals to come, particularly for Argentina, particularly from Lionel Messi. Holland very much on the back foot before the second half. Holland very much on the back foot going into the second half, and so they will really need to up their game. Don't forget, coming up tomorrow is Morocco against Portugal with Russ and Luke. And then at 7 o'clock, the big match, England against France, with myself and Luke. So without further ado, let's get straight back into it as we rejoin your commentators, Luke Turton and John JB Stuttard.
Yes, thank you very much, Nicholas, and welcome back, everybody, to the Rosario iconic stadium. Well, we're just in an iconic moment from Messi towards the end of the first half, which really set this game up alight, certainly for the second half. We're still waiting for the teams to come out, incidentally, but while we're waiting for the teams to come out, let me bring my co-commentator in, Luke Turton, again. Well, we didn't see classic of a first half, Luke, but let's eulogise about the Messi pass, shall we? I mean, that was one of the great assists of the tournament so far. We're still waiting for both teams to come out. I think one or two of the Dutch players are out now, but that was a terrific ball through. And I mean, let's first of all talk about Messi's pass. That was an amazing pass, and that just shows why he's one of the best players still in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a stunning pass through to Molina. It was probably one of the only things Messi could just do by himself. The ball through was brilliant. And
what do you think now Holland have to do? I mean, obviously Van Gaal had the old Fergie hair dryer if Fergie's lent it to him, but I'm sure you would have had him in and had a few choice words, because they didn't play well enough, I felt, over the first 45 minutes as the Argentines come out now for the second half, incidentally. And Holland are about to make a couple of changes, it looks like to me, but they really need to get it, their A game. They need to get out of first gear and really get moving through the gears if they're going to get back into this one, Luke, surely.
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot that Holland need to do, and it'll be interesting to see within the first 5-10 minutes whether they do have a change of approach or not. Well,
we're going to see Cup Miners definitely come on, and number 11, Bakunis is also on as well. Off comes Martin de Roon. That's the change. Cup Miners is gone on. Martin de Roon has been substituted. I don't know what Bakunis is replaced, but we'll find out in a second or two. I'm sure FIFA will give us the answers soon enough. But it's a goal scored by Molina on 35 minutes, which is the difference, and Messi gets us away in the second half. No changes, unsurprisingly, from Argentina, but as I say, we've had two for the Dutch. So Bakunis and Koeman are on. I can't tell you exactly who Bakunis is replaced. Canberra did not plan on that substitution. So Nopper is in goal. Let me just remind you, so Nopper is in goal, and it's a back three rather. Aki, Van Dijk and Timber, who's been booked. Blin, De Jong, Depay. Koeman is also in there for Martin de Roon. And we think, well, it's Memphis Depay who's gone. Well, we've got to that one. McInnes has replaced Memphis Depay, and he will partner Cody Gakpo up front. Let me just remind you of the Argentina side. Emi Martinez in goal as Argentina win an early free kick there. Foul there on De Paul. Emi Martinez will play in goal for Argentina. They're still unchanged from the first half, remember. One up, obviously. Back three of Lisandro Martinez, Otamendi and Romero, who's been booked. And then in the midfield, Acuna, who's also been booked, McAllister, Fernandes, De Paul and Molina. And then up front, Alvarez and the captain, Lionel Messi. So there is a recheck on the two teams. Two changes, as I say, for Holland, none for Argentina. De Paul has it on the right-hand side, feeds Messi, edge of the area, looks to twist and turn, finds Alvarez. Now back to Messi again, over on the far side now. Can Argentina keep this alive? Good cross required by Acuna. who remember has been booked, and he's out of the net and has picked up a second booking in the tournament, and he's out of the semi-final. Potentially Argentina may get against Croatia. That takes place on the Tuesday the 13th of December. So we've got an Argentinian corner. We've played 2 minutes of the second half, and the next goal in this game, so vitally important, more so for Holland than for Argentina. Messi is going to take it. 5 Argentinians in the penalty area. Messi will swing it in with his left foot from the left-hand side. Referee making sure there's no pushing and shoving towards the near post. A little flick on, which went all the way through, and in the end didn't come to much, but it's been kept alive here by Fernandez. He tries to take on Koeman here. In fact, sorry, Frankie de Jong, sorry, not Koeman. But at the moment, Argentina starting this second half really well, and the Dutch really, I know it's a long, still early days yet in the second half, but the Dutch really yet to get going, or I've not had much opportunity to get the foot on the ball at this point, Luke.
For mostly Argentina, then Holland needs to try and create something.
Well, they might get a chance here because they've got a free kick, and it's Romero who's fouled Memphis Depay. It's not Memphis Depay who's gone off. I think it might have been. I'm trying to think who else. I thought it was Memphis Depay, but obviously he isn't. I'll get confirmation. So it was Bergwijn that went off. Just to confirm. So it is Steven Bergwijn. Right, we got that. We got there in the end. Yes, Bergwijn and De Bruyne off, and Depay is still on. Right, we got there. Half-time substitutions are never my bag, normally, but anyway, we got there in the end, listeners. And if you are listening tonight, please be respectful in the comment section, and obviously thank you for joining us. Do leave your comments, and we've had a few nice ones actually, which I haven't been able to read out. John Gauntier, is that how you pronounce it? John Gauntier, he said it was a pleasant surprise to discover you, and will add you to my contacts. I already did on Facebook. Just love this, and back again. I shall watch more. Don't forget, you can subscribe to JB Sports. Not that I'm doing self-promotion, by the way, but we're at 981 subscribers. We're less than 20 away from the 1,000 mark on my channel. So if you are listening on JB Sports, hit that subscribe button and hit the notifications, please, if you are listening to us on that channel. As I say, all comments welcome, as long as you keep your comments clean. We're still a family programme, even at 8:15 in an evening. In the UK, we're now at around about 11:15 in Qatar time. Only 45 minutes away in that part of the world from midnight, would you believe? For the players, it must be quite of a shock that they've probably had 3 weeks now to acclimatise to it all. It's Depay battles for it there, and halfway, Aki won't want to be found mounting against the likes of Lionel Messi there, and Alexis McAllister, of course. Still no way that the Dutch really need to create something, as Luke Turton quite rightly said. A moment or two back, Virgil van Dijk off looking for support and putting his hands up, saying, "Come on, where is my support? For heaven's sake, let's get on with it." They're giving it away as well, and this could be trouble now as Messi goes charging forward. Out comes the goalkeeper Noppert, and he does really well there to get on the end of it. Now can Holland try and get something going here? Van Dijk in possession. They need something now to go their way. Number 11, Bakunis, gets the ball back from Memphis Depay. Bakunis again. Busy little player he is. And here is number 21. Here's Frankie de Jong. De Jong now looking for runners. De Jong takes possession. Gets it out to the far side. Again, support not really too shy for coming here. Depay now trying to make something of it, and it's not working out, and Messi's one possession, and you know what? one word, that could mean trouble. It's 4 against 4. It was for a moment or two, but Messi held it up and just decided to use support that was there, and Molina goes backwards and the attack breaks down. But Argentina, at the moment, you have to say at this stage, Luke, quite a professional performance.
Yeah, Argentina just controlling it, and Holland can't get into the game.
Well, they need to sooner rather than later if they are to force at least half an hour's extra time. If it's level after 90 minutes, incidentally, extra time will be played as things stand. That's not likely to be the case. You never know what can happen in this crazy game of ours. Anything can happen. But if it's level after 90 minutes, 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, whatever, I suggested for a minute that we'll get a 3-3 or a 4-4. But even if it was to end level, whatever score, we would have half an hour's extra time, so we'd have a quarter of an hour each way. And if it's level after that half an hour, 15 minutes each way, then it would be a penalty shootout to decide who would face Croatia in Tuesday's first semi-final. Just to remind you that we are live on Certain Trucks, our co-commentators YouTube channel as well. Here come Holland now looking for a way through. De Jong plays the ball in. Needs to be a good ball there, but it wasn't a good ball, I'm afraid, by the Dutch at the end of it all, and the attack breaks down. Just at the moment, it just looks as if Holland are building up rather well, but then just not able to play the ball in. And while I was off the air, I was listening, and Alan Shearer was making the point on television at half time that that has been the case for Holland. De Jong now, and again, it's just backwards from Holland at the moment, which is very disappointing to see. And you look at their size down with the years, 74, 78, 88, 98 with Dennis Bergkamp and all these great Dutch sides that always promised so much but delivered so little as far as the international stage was concerned. But Guinness has it on the far side. Have they got a break? Have they got an opportunity in them at the moment? At the moment, it doesn't look as if Argentina at any point, Luke, have got any weaknesses in their side, but as the old adage, it's still a funny old game. That was a clear handball by Lionel Messi on halfway, and surely he's got to be booked for that. He has to be booked for that. The referee can't show leniency to him and not to others. That is a deliberate handball, and in my book, that's a yellow card offence. He's not even got a booking for it, and Virgil van Dijk, quite rightly, Luke, he's livid about that. Should have been a yellow.
Wow. I mean, just got away with one there.
Well, the referee can't show leniency to one great player and not get tough with others. You can't referee a match like that. That's poor from the referee. He knows it's a deliberate attempt to stop an attack. The yellow card from the Spanish referee should have been going out immediately. I think Messi has got away with murder, it has to be said. But Holland aren't helping themselves. We had 10 minutes of the second half. Holland 0, Argentina 1 on the TC Hub. A place in the World Cup semi-finals is the prize on offer for the winners tonight. It has to be decided on the night. But at the moment there's no... As Koeman keeps possession. Can Holland break through? At the moment it doesn't look as if they're going to at the moment. Messi battling there with Aki. Messi thought he was bundled out of it. Referee ignoring those pleas from Messi, who in my opinion, and it's just an opinion, probably upset a lot of Messi fans here, but he should have been booked. It was a clear deliberate handball, and you will not convince me otherwise. Holland still have it with Frankie de Jong. Now he uses number 11 here, which is Bergunis. Holland having a lot of the ball, but doing precious little with it, and that could be the case in point. Argentina have magicians. Holland have magicians, as we saw to great effect against the US, but they're not playing like that at the moment. And that, quite frankly, from a game point of view, has been disappointing. I expected better from both these sides tonight. They've not really had much of the sort. As Timber knocks the ball out of play. Your impressions of the first 10 minutes, Luke?
No real change from the first half. I mean, Holland have been passing it basically around nowhere, and Argentina have been basically trying to soak it up and trying to counter-attack and create another one of them moves. It's not really that impressive, to be fair.
No, it hasn't been impressive, but the onus is on the Dutch to attack the Argentinians because they're behind and they need a goal. Paul James has added that it should have been a yellow. It was blatant. I could just imagine him on commentary. Luke saying just that as well. Nicholas has had his say as well. He's saying that Messi a yellow card was disgraceful, disgusting and disrespectful. Railway services reference. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Nicholas. I've never seen it. If it's a TV series, I've never seen it before in my life. I'm an old geezer. Just remember, apart from Paul, I'm the next oldest. Big 4-0 for me next year. And I'm feeling every bit of my 39 and 3/4 years. Let me tell you. Anyway, here's Aki now on the ball. Luke, you've got a long way to go before you're 39, mate. Let me tell you. And so enjoy your youth while you still can, mate. And that's my advice to you. Anyway, here's Nathan Aki now for Holland, needing a goal to get back in this game. Daily Blend goes back to Virgil van Dijk. As Luke has quite rightly said, they've gone side to side and back, and they just haven't got the ball forward enough. But however, they have a throw right on the edge of the 18-yard line on the right-hand side, so they could create something. They try to get the crossing, but again, stout Argentinian defending, and it's been so easy for Argentina really in a lot of respects in defence, and they haven't had that much to do. Just hope I haven't put the commentator's curse on the Argentinians. Here's Messi now. If they can keep their discipline, Argentina, they're in the semi-finals, and they might get one here through DePaul. The pass was a little bit awry, and the chance has gone really, but then Aquino makes a hawks of clearing it. DePaul wins it back on the right-hand side, and now the ball threaded through. Molina, who got the opening goal, whose goal separates the two teams, whose goal sending Argentina through to play potentially Croatia in the last 4. And remember, those two teams, if that was to be the case, have history before, because Argentina was soundly beaten in the Russia World Cup 4 years ago by the Croats. So that's no gimme for Argentina, should they get through, of course, and of course the Netherlands, of course. I mean, if you knock out Brazil, you must not be a bad team, I suppose. I still think Brazil should have won this afternoon, but that's another story. Argentina going through quite comfortably as things stand. You have to say Holland have not really laid a glove on them as we approach an hour played. One there for Alvarez to chase. Holland get it away. And then can Frankie de Jong get something going here? They've got to get something going here. Can they get Denzel de Vries? Not with passes like that, I'm afraid. That was just a poor ball. The obvious ball was there. Again, the execution, and there's quite a lot of anger on Dutch supporters' faces, Luke, at this point.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'd be disappointed too if I was a Dutch fan, because I had no real quality.
And carry on.
And no end product.
No end product. And Nicholas has been in touch, our host tonight. Thomas the Tank Engine reference. Wow. I would never have guessed in a million years, and I used to watch that when I was about 3. There's been another comment from us. You don't look a day over 21. It's a shame that we're having to revert to banter here to try and get through a football game that's really promised so much, really, in a lot of respects. Molina, now then, can he find a paw? He can. Can we have a little bit of magic possibly from Messi? He runs through, tries to run past defenders. Surely that's a free kick, and it is. And the finishing spray rather than the cars are coming out this time. So Messi, who should have really been booked about 6 or 7 minutes ago for a handball, Virgil van Dijk's probably taking collective revenge for that. Pushed him over, and you could argue that should have been a yellow card as well, Luke.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a surprise with what's been given as a yellow card and then what's now not been given as a yellow card. But, yeah, and that's the referee to decide.
Maybe it's just his way of evening up their playing cards a little bit, maybe. But one thing we can't deny or disagree with, it is a Argentinian free kick. And I'm sure Mr. Messi will have plenty to say on this one. Scored 3 goals. scored a couple of good work goals as well. He hasn't got the most powerful goal. Chavez of Mexico has that on it. Kane is in the top 5. Ronaldo there, Ulrich as well. And Doan of Japan as well. He's got 121 kilometers an hour. But then again, Messi doesn't need that kind of power. He's got skill and he's got accuracy, and he's got a free kick here. There are 4, maybe 5 in the Dutch wall, and Noppert with only 5 cats behind him. Not much in the way of international experience. Will be worried at this moment in time. He hopes he's got that wall right. There's 5 in the wall with a guy with another player lying down behind it, which is the norm these days because some of the free kick takers like to go along the deck. Messi will go over the wall with the left foot, and he almost gets the second one. It just misses the far right hand post, and it couldn't have missed by much. A terrific free kick there, Luke, taken by Lionel Messi. Just clips the top of the netting.
Yeah, that was so close to being 2 inches.
And it was a terrific free kick, and from the distance as well, he did very well to even just maybe shave the crossbar potentially. Not a good clearance though by Otamendi. Hit it a little bit up and underish, almost like a Gary Owen up and under, if you like, in rugby circles. Did a kick and rush. It wouldn't have gone down too badly at Twickenham and Cardiff at the Principality Stadium on even Murrayfield, but yeah, it wouldn't have gone down too well, even though it didn't cost Argentina anything else other than maybe a little bit of bruised pride for the individual concerned. So throw to Holland, and it's in their own half, and Louis van Gaal has used 2 of his substitutes now, Luke, at this point, and it hasn't worked. Now, are we going to see another one, or am I just seeing things? Well, this is the free kick again, Luke. Good effort from Messi, despite... Did it shave the bar? Well, not really, but it wasn't far away, was it, the little Argentinian magician?
No, it was so close, it just clipped the top of the net, above the bar, but it was inches away.
Yeah, Daily Blind has gone off. Luke de Jong has now joined his brother, I believe, Frankie, on the field. And, well, I was going to ask you the question. He's used 3 substitutes now, Louis van Gaal, and still his team aren't playing well enough. Is it just that sometimes in these sort of games you do get the tense feeling? These knockout games are almost like cup finals in a way. You know full well if you don't win, you're out, and maybe it's affecting the Dutch maybe in a lot of respects, but we'll just have to see. Anyway, here's De Paul making a good burst. He's on his own against 3 orange shirts. Needs a bit of support maybe, De Paul of Atletico Madrid, of course. A game that really promised so much from both sides. It's been a real disappointment, but let's hope the next 65 minutes that have gone before have been at best tame. Let's hope the next 25 minutes plus injury time will give us a different complexion on things, as we're going to see the first Argentinian substitution. Papares is about to enter the fray. Argentina have it now from the throw, and that will break now to the goal scorer Molina. Tries to play the ball in, hits Nathan Aki, and Aki now can come away with the ball. And the ball just behind the Dutch player, and it's going to be another throw for Holland. We're going to see that substitution now. See who it is. Number 7 is going off, and so that must be Rodrigo De Paul, who's had a decent game, to be fair, Luke. He's done okay. Not had his best game for Argentina by a long way, and on in his place comes number 5 here. We just get confirmation. De Paul then off, and Paredes is on. De Paul's performance, Luke, decent or just a little bit quiet maybe?
I think really average, to be fair, JB. Just runs about his business okay, but not really pulled up in the trees.
Well, not many players have. Not many players really have pulled up any trees tonight, especially if you're wearing orange. Ball knocked back to Norpeth now, and now hurtling towards the halfway mark of the second half already. has gone quickly, I have to say, for such a poor quality of football that we've seen tonight. The one bit of quality that's mattered has got Argentina the lead. And on balance, it's been richly deserved. Holland, despite having possession, quite frankly, have not done enough with the ball, and that has been a massive disappointment in quite a lot of respects. 67 minutes gone then on the TCR. Netherlands nil, Holland 0, Argentina 1. Netherlands to give them their Sunday best, Nick. At the moment they're not playing like the Johan Cruyff team of 74, or of that ilk. It's been very disappointing, and I'm sure there'll be a few Dutch legends in the crowd, the likes of Broodhullet and Van Basten and all that, all them people. Edgar Davids, of course, and Nistelrooy. So many great Dutchmen to have played in that famous orange shirt, promised so much and delivered so little in terms of international trophies. Just the one in their history to show Euro 88 when they beat the former Soviet Union in the final. It's Timber who goes down, pushed over by Messi. Now, will he get his yellow card this time? I don't think so. I think the referee had already stopped at that point. No, he hadn't. It was a foul. In fact, it wasn't. I think Messi was the second foul. I think he gave it for the first foul rather than the second foul by Messi. Aki kissing in on the left-hand side. Can the Dutch perform something to get this game level? My goodness, the 68 minutes that we've seen has been pretty frankly forgettable, apart from that one moment of genius from Messi, which led to Molina scoring. The only goal of the game on 35 minutes. Come on, let's get a game for the next 22 minutes and let's see a bit of a classic here in this second half. The Dutch trying to put things together, and at the moment Cody Gakpo, who's 3 goals at the moment, has put the Dutch in a very strong position. At the moment, hasn't produced anything at the moment. Look at that, 60 times. Argentina have been much better with shots on goal as well. Ball pumped into the penalty area from the right hand side for Holland. Aki trying to keep the ball alive. The referees are put to throw again. Another Argentinian's gone down, to the despair of the Dutch, who feel a little bit hard done by now. They think Romero has been, well, let's just say, trying to make out that he's been shot by Lee Harvey Oswald. No more than a super. I have to say, Luke, there was no hint of a push there for Koeman, and I think he's been harshly dealt with there. I do think the South American teams, especially Argentina, do tend to milk it a little bit when trying to get 3 kicks. I'll just come back to you a second, because Argentina are attacking here, and when you've got people like Messi and Alvarez on the ball, you never know what might happen. Here's Messi spreading it out now to number 13 Romero of Manchester United, and in the end it's come to nothing. But the Argentinians do tend to milk it a bit. I felt the Dutch were a bit unlucky giving away that 3 kick. I don't think Koeman did anything wrong.
Yeah, I have to agree that they do make it more than they really should, to be fair.
He got it half away, and then Van Dijk on the edge of his own box had to help his centre-back partner out. And Paul James has agreed with us. He's been quite disappointed this game, but you and Luke are doing a great job. Well, thank you very much, Paul. We appreciate that. Myself and Luke Turton. As Argentina try to win a penalty. Now, what's the referee? Oh, it's a penalty! I've got to say, it looked to die from first glance. Acuna went down, presumably looking for it. I'd have to look at a replay to be sure, Luke Turton, but well, first of all, was it outside? Oh, I'm not sure there's contact, but it's very minimal there, surely. And I'm sure VAR will check it. Penalty or not, it did look a little bit on the theatrical side. As things stand, it's a penalty to Argentina.
I'm not sure whether that's a penalty or not, to be fair.
Well, there's about 4 or 5 Dutch players surrounding the Spanish referee, and I think he has been a bit generous in his decision there. Messi spotted the ball, but surely VAR must be checking this, surely. Well, they do tend to play out. Well, it's been given. Well, checking it, I believe, and they've gone to a graphic with Lionel Messi now Now I wonder if the goalkeeper's done his homework on him. So 26 penalties, scored the majority. He has missed only 6 out of 26 for Argentina and scored 20 of them. So you would think here at this point Messi will score, but the penalty, in my opinion, should never have been given. It didn't look a very good decision from the referee and VAR, and then the VAR ref Fernandez decided not to get involved. So Messi has a free shot from 12 yards against Andres Nopart. This would really put Argentina in complete command of this quarter-final and put them, dare I say, 1 foot in the semi-finals. It's Lionel Messi who missed a penalty earlier on in the tournament, let's not forget. Can Nopart perform the heroics again this time and keep the Dutch in the hunt? It's a short run-up, something like 2-3 step run-up. Messi will step up and he'll hit it right-footed, and the goalkeeper stays static, and Messi makes it 2-0 from the penalty spot, and Argentina are heading towards the semi-finals, where they may well play Croatia on the 13th of December. Whether the penalty should have been given, well, the Dutch will argue to the night, but what you can't deny, Luke, was the emphaticness and the emphatic nature of how Messi put away his penalty. That was unbelievable, and the Argentinian captain gives his side a 2-0 lead.
Yes, if you're going to take a penalty, that's how you take a penalty. Not like some of the ones we've seen so far today. That is exactly how you take a penalty.
Well, I do sympathise with Holland a little bit there on that decision, because from Acuna's point of view, I thought there was a bit of simulation, diving involved, but the Spanish officials have fallen for it. But when you look back, I mean, it's not going to be decided on that one decision. Holland have not played well enough on the night to deserve even being on parity. Now they find themselves 2 goals down, and you've got to say on the balance of play, you'd say it's just about right, but the awarding of that penalty was very suspect to me. Anyway, Holland now need 2 goals to force extra time, and Eddie Martinez has been involved here with a clash with De Jong, and tempers just fraying slightly. The referee's losing control of this, I'm sure of it. I can understand Holland's frustration, but at the moment it's giving the referee licence to start brandishing yellow cards left, right and centre, of course, and there's quite a few of them on that field, Luke, who have to watch their step, because there's a bit of a fracas going on now, and it's getting a bit messy now, to be quite honest, Luke, and the referee calling De Jong over now. There's going to be yellow cards brandished, I'm sure of it. And I have to say, the behaviour from both sides on that particular incident does not leave a lot to be decided. That was disgraceful.
It's just so unnecessary.
Well, one can understand it from a Dutch point of view, but that said, take that out of the equation. They haven't played well enough, and yeah, quite well. It was almost inevitable, wasn't it, Luke, that yellow cards would be brandished. De Jong certainly gets a yellow card. Yeah. That'll definitely be confirmed. And was Memphis Depay another one there? We got a booking. We'll get it confirmed, of course, by FIFA, but the Dutch, well, they'll feel aggrieved. Maybe they still have agreements over the penalty award. Was it a penalty? Was it not a penalty? On the referee's mind, he thought it was. And well, we know De Jong has been booked. We'll get it all confirmed in the fullness of time, but the Dutch now quarter of an hour away from bowing out. Memphis Depay has actually been booked, presumably for speaking out of turn or for his part in the fracas, but there was an Argentinian involved. Why isn't he not being booked? Goalkeeper Andy Martinez with a poor clearance, which now gives Holland a chance. They need 2 goals in 14 minutes plus injury time. And the way things are going at the moment, they don't look as if they're going to do it, but you never know. They might get a chance inside the area now. Is that a penalty? The referee has a long, hard look. And, well, it looks a 50-50 on that one. I'm not sure whether that was a penalty or not. We'll have a look at the replay, Luke and I, and try and see if that was a penalty. VAR will obviously check that. Goals from Messi on 73 minutes and Molina on 35 are sending Argentina to the semi-finals on Tuesday, where they will play the Croats. And a foul, and the Dutch now beginning to lose a lot of heart and a lot of discipline here. And Martinez has also been booked. He was booked in the fracas, so that puts to bed my theory as an Argentina been booked. Now, Burnley, well, he's on loan at Besiktas, technically, Weghorst, but he is on the books of Burnley. Now, he didn't cover himself in glory. He's a big, tall lad. I've commentated on him a couple of times, of course. Romero and Acuna have gone off. Acuna can't take part in the next game because of suspension, remember, because he got 2 yellow cards. And Nicolas Talavigo and Pezzella are going to enter the fray now for the remaining 13 minutes. As I say, Wout Weghorst on loan at Besiktas from Burnley. Although Burnley is his parent club, I should tell you. He's about to come on. We're not sure who yet. But the Argentinians are taking a long time on their substitution, and the referee at this stage has to be pulling them up on time wasting. Weghorst is now on, and he's replaced Memphis Depay. So the man I thought had got off at half time has finally gone off after 78 minutes. Memphis Depay, not one of his better games, I'm afraid. So Wout Weghorst, can the man on Burnley's books, although he plays for Besiktas on loan? There's been a lot of talk actually, certainly amongst Burnley fans, that Wout Weghorst at Vincent Company after the World Cup could trigger a course to bring back Weghorst in January. How true that could be, I'm not quite sure, but for what I saw of him last season, he wasn't that particularly great. Big 6'5", tall player. You could pick him out in a crowd of about 4 or 5 people for sure. And they need to get balls into him very quickly. Ball flicked on towards Weghorst, and the ball then hooked away. And Holland now nearly need to go for it now and try and get something out of this. Timber has it. And remember, you're listening to the game on these YouTube channels: JB Sports, TCUB2, and Storm FM. We're also on Turton Talks Football as well. Nice to have you with us. And of course, the reason we got Turton Talks Football listed, because Nottingham's finest is alongside me as another Dutch attack doesn't come to it. And of course, our resident Nottinghamshire guy has got about 10 minutes to figure his player of the match, sponsored by Commentary Services, and I'm sure there'll be a few names that spring to mind. I'm not going to say who, but that's for Luke to decide, not for me. I'm just the commentator who's just calling it play by play, as they say in the States. Andy Martinez with a free kick. Van Dijk, cool as you like underneath. At the moment, it's been a very, very easy assignment for Argentina, which they're accomplishing with flying colours. Here's that man again, and here they come again. Here's a chance for number 3. If they can get it, the ball knocked back into the penalty area. Messi's cross, it wasn't Messi's cross, but what a deflection off a defender, Dumfries. It was a good run there by Alvarez, and the goalkeeper, it was wrong-footed by Mr. Messi on that penalty, which he so emphatically put away. We haven't. Just a word about the Dutch penalty. Again, it would have been a lot of a soft penalty if he had given it there, to be fair, wouldn't he? Because he went down a bit easily, didn't he?
Well, I think if one of them's given, I think the other one has to be given. I don't really start channeling Steve Cooper or anything, but that's generally my view on it.
Well, he's had plenty to say on that issue, Stevie Cooper, but your team seems to be bucking up as well before the World Cup, as we're going to see another Martinez come on. And we've got 3 Martinez's down on the field. It's almost as bad as all those Kims I was commentating on about the other day for South Korea a week ago. Alvarez hadn't scored tonight. Got about 8.9 kilometres, but has had a quiet game by his standards. But I don't think he'll be bothered too much about his own individual performance. Latano Martinez is the man who's coming on. Holland have a free kick now. They need a goal from somewhere. Can Cody Carpo provide something now and make it a tense grandstand 8 minutes? It was a grandstand finish. 81.5 minutes gone. The target will be surely Vegas. It's not a good free kick from Capo, whose deliveries, apart from one, which could have easily gone to Virgil van Dijk, has been quite feeble, really. As De Jong now on a yellow card has got to watch his step for the remainder. Ball back to Noppert as he kicks away now again. It's actually done really well, the Dutch keeper. Very unlucky to be beaten twice tonight. Can Holland find a flourish now and try and make a grandstand finish and put Argentina on the back, so to speak? They need something now. They need to pump the ball long into the box. They caught Tiger! He scored! It's Fab Weghorst! The Burnley man, the man alone, to the 6 shots from Burnley, has given Holland hope with with less than 7 minutes to go. And it's game on, and Luke Turton, we may still get a grandstand finish. Holland 1, Argentina 2.
Yeah, that was an outstanding header from Weghorst into the corner of the goal. I mean, that's the first time we've seen Holland really challenge the Argentinian net, to be fair.
Well, at least we've got a game on now. Wow. Messi is down in a heap, and that could be a concern for Argentina if it is a real injury, because you never know. He could. It came from the kickoff. We were still talking about the goal. Oh, that's ridiculous. Weghorst, who's just scored the goal. Oh, I hardly touched him there, Luke. I'm not having that. Messi, the great player that he is, has milked it for me. And that's disgusting, I'm afraid, from a great player, and he is a great player, Lionel Messi. Weghorst, in my opinion, Luke, never even touched him. That's disgraceful from Messi. I can take gamesmanship, but from a player like Messi, that is despicable. They've got the free kick, but in the way that he's earned that, that is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous. A player of that standard should not be trying to do that in a game.
Well, I just. I'm lost for words in a lot of sense. Paul James says, why couldn't he do that for Burnley? We did it, I think, twice off memory, but to be perfectly honest, it's been that sort of a night really where anything could still happen. We still have a possibility of extra time if the Dutch can get the ball on his head again, and they're looking for Weghorst again. Where's the header? It comes back down. Oh, it's in. No, it's not side netting. I just thought for a moment that Bakunis had made it 2-2, Luke. It hit the net, but the side netting and not the back of the net. Holland, it got a deflection. I'll come to you in a second, Luke. We could still have a late finish here. Why is it taking them 83 minutes to start playing? I will not know. But Argentina, all of a sudden on the back force, if they can get the ball on Weghorst's head, well, it could be mayhem. Here comes the corner from the right-hand side. It's beyond Weghorst that time. And the ball breaks away to Koeman. The game now will be played exclusively in the Argentina half in the next 5 minutes plus injury time. I will come to Luke Turton for his man of the match in about 3 or 4 minutes. Ball's gone backwards now, but what a good header that was from Weghorst. And if that isn't a spur for Vincent Kompany, maybe to bring him back on loan for the second half of the championship season, I don't know what will. That has just shown what his quality is. And the man who scored 6 goals in the Turkish league for Besiktas has come up with a huge goal, potentially that could get Holland back in this World Cup. They need another one now in the time that remains. 4 minutes plus injury and stoppage time to go. Can Holland rescue the situation and force half an hour's extra time? Remember, it went all the way in the other game today between Brazil and Croatia. Croatia coming out on top 4-2 on penalties. It was a goalless first 90 minutes, I should add, and both the Brazil goal and Croatia goal came either side of that interval. So we'll just have to see. Aki now on the chase. Oh, he had some real finishes in this World Cup this season, this year, especially when the groups have come to their climax. So we're going to see another climax here in this quarter-final. It's taken a while, but we've got drama here. I'm very privileged to have commentated on 3 goals in such a poor quality game. The ball's been given away here, and it's number 22 leading the charge. It's Martinez. Picks out Messi. Messi bundled to the ground, and again he's got a free kick under dubious circumstances. And I have to say that booking against Bagunis was totally out of order from the referee. Messi he worked for that 100% in my opinion. And Stephen Bagunis has gone away, in my opinion, Luke, with a very unfortunate yellow card. Messi again making a complete meal of it. There's hardly anything in it, and Messi goes over as if he's been shot by Lee Harvey Oswald. Disgraceful again from the little magician.
I have to admit, South American players don't half overreact when they get a touch.
And this is why I get this. This is why I despair. I despair with a modern day footballer. Football is a physical sport, has been since the year it was invented nearly 200 years ago. It's just ridiculous. That's another foul. And now the Dutch, now it's going to be an almighty riot here. And I'm afraid it's all kicking off towards the end. I wouldn't be amazed at this point, Luke Turton, if we're going to see a red card here. The discipline from both teams has been quite pathetic. And there's fights everywhere you look.
That is absolutely ridiculous. Why are they kicking the ball into the dugout? That is ridiculous.
Well, it was going to spark a reaction, that's for sure. There are 2 sides that do have their flashpoints. I remember one incident in that famous 98 quarter-final with Ariel Ortega and headbutting Edwin van der Sar. Then there was that Rennie van der Kerkhoff controversy, Plastikas stuff in 78. Van Dijk is being spoken to. He's going to get a yellow card. I'm amazed no one's been sent off in this game, I'll be honest with you. I can understand the Dutch frustration about that, because you do not kick the ball. As Luke Turton quite rightly says, Leonardo Perez deservedly gets a yellow card for his part in the incident. But he goes in hard on Aki. That's a foul. And he goes quickly to take the man and not the ball. That's a professional foul. And then goes stage further by smashing the ball into the dugout, which again starts the brawl and the fracas. It's despicable when grown men like that. I know there's a World Cup semi-final place at stake, but you can't behave on both sides like that. It's just despicable. Free kick to Owen. 2-1 down. 30 seconds of normal time to go. It's into the penalty area, and it's out for a goal kick. I think Dumfries came in there to try and finish it off, but the angle had died on him at that point. Right, Luke. We're going to throw this goes to extra time, and I'm going to ask you to choose your player of the match sponsored by Commentary Services. Let's try and get a bit of respite from all the shenanigans as Bigos is chasing the referee. Your player of the match, please.
Well, I decided this way before his random antics, but I went for Lionel Messi for his assist and his goal. Yeah,
I have to say, we've criticised him a lot for his theatrics, but I have to say, and he should have been booked as well. But then again, his 2 moments of brilliance may have decided it as well, and you can't fault him by that. We've got a whopping 10 added minutes, so we're still on no cause to finding out who's going through to this semi-final, because the Dutch have got 10 minutes, Luke. And I think at the end of the day, with all the stoppages and all the fracas and everything that's gone before it, I'm not surprised at this point. Weghorst on the edge of the area. He wants a handball. The referee is gone to his vanishing spray. They're going to get a free kick for the first foul and not the handball foul. So 10 added minutes. I think that's probably about right. I thought again. I have to say, I'm amazed that the referee hasn't dug into his pocket there, because on another day, Otamendi would have seen yellow for that. And another scandalous foul, which again hasn't been punished with a yellow card. It's again from the referee. 10 added minutes, Luke. I think that's just about right, considering what's gone on.
Yeah, I have to agree. There's been a lot of stoppage and a lot of time basically taken out of the game, and quite rightly it has to be added on.
Absolutely, and we've had the fracas, we've had all sorts, and well, I'm amazed VAR haven't got involved a bit more than they have, really. I have to say, the Spanish referee, it's not been his finest hour by any stretch of the imagination. The free kick was correct, but the yellow card should have been given to Otamendi. You were going to say something quickly.
Yeah, I mean, with that fracas a couple of minutes ago, I don't think they really needed a red card for it. Because, I mean, the Paredes got booked for kicking the ball into the dugout and the tackle. But apart from that, just everyone's lost it, and then it calmed down. They just let it play out.
Well, Paul said the referee's been dreadful, but we'll put them back to the comments in a minute, because if Cody Carpo can finish this one up, it might not be him. It is, in fact, it was Begunis who hit the free kick. It hit the very strong Argentinian wall. We've had 2 of the 10 minutes. Paul goes on to say he agrees with the 10 minutes, and the referee has been dreadful and has lost control over the game a long time ago. I have to agree with you on that, Scott Paul. Now the referee again. What's he given this time? He's pointing to his wristwatch, but presumably time wasting. There's a clash of two heads. Again, you've got to take player safety into account. You cannot go around gesturing to your wristwatch when 2 players have collided with each other and have got head injuries. You've got to take sensible care about that. This Spanish referee he's not had his finest hour, and I hope he never referees another match of this magnitude again. Because I have to say, I don't know how Luke Turton feels. Virgil van Dijk has picked up a booking as well. There's yellow cards going left, right and centre, and it's been a really disgraceful exhibition, not just from the players but from the officials as well. I have to say the referee has not covered himself in glory tonight. Agree, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, there's been times when you think yellow card, and times where you thought no yellow card. It's just a bit odd.
Well, sometimes the World Cup can throw games like this magnitude that way. I just hope when we do the final, Luke and I, in about a week's time, whichever 2 teams get through to the final, eventually get through to the final, let's hope we get a good game of a great game of football, and none of these ridiculous scenes that we've seen here in Lusail tonight at the iconic stadium. It's been iconic for all the wrong reasons, I have to say, although a couple of moments of Messi genius has tempered that, and of course a great header from Wout Weghorst, the substitute for Holland. But we've got 6 minutes of the 10 to go, and Holland haven't got time to waste. They've got to get it forward, and preferably under the head of Wout Weghorst. Now then, the ball breaks here to Gakpo. Can he keep it in? He can't, but he's got to throw out of it. Well, at least I think he has. Yes, he has. And again, time wasting from the Argentinians. The referee will have time on for this. Well, can Weghorst do it again? It's going to be a short throw from Aki. No, he's going to go long. Dave Chellener style. No, he's gone short. And would you believe it, Weghorst is taking up a deeper role. He needs to be in the box. I would have thought, really, a guy of his prowess and strength and height, need to be pumping balls into the box for him at this moment in time. He's come on, he's made a bit of a difference. The only Dutch substitute that's actually made a real difference to anything. Now then, can the Dutch still find something here? Ball played in towards the back post, and the referee is going to blow for a free kick, I feel, for Argentina. And that is the decision. We've had half the time gone. Van Dijk complaining again now. Let's have a look what happened here. Yeah, a bit of a shoulder charge, I have to say, by De Jong, Luke De Jong, and I think that's a fair decision. Definite free kick to Argentina. Well, we certainly had a lot of talking points to pick out from here, Luke, and there's so many. I mean, we've had 3 goals, we've had about 1 million yellow cards. I'm amazed we haven't really had a red one, considering the amount of players that have been booked, and there's been so many that have had yellow cards throughout this evening. But it will not be remembered for football. Let's be fair, Luke, when we look back at it on the final analysis, regardless of how it pans out.
Yeah, it's really been highlighted with the yellow cards and the fracas and those 3. I mean, okay, Messi's pass was brilliant. The penalty, again, dubious but well taken.
It was a pure genius of a penalty. Yeah.
The other end really should have been given as a penalty as well, but again, we're ahead from Weghorst.
Yeah, and I think the referee as well has got to take his share of the blame in what's really happened in the second half. But let's just concentrate on the last 4 minutes. Well, 3.5 minutes now. Ball pumped forward, but again, Where was Weghorst? He was in too much of a deeper role. He should be in the penalty area. De Jong won the header, but Weghorst was nowhere to be seen. And the Dutch fans, well, they want the referee to add on more time. I should stress at this point that the minimum time that you can give at the end of the game is a minimum of. So should it go the full, once it goes the full 10, it's then up to Mr. Lahu from Spain, who's not covered himself in glory, if I'm being perfectly frank. Well, it's at his discretion if he wants to add on time on. He could add anything up to 2-3 minutes if he wanted to. That's how he interprets the time wasting from the Argentines, and the referee sure he has to blow up at this point. No, he doesn't. He lets the game carry on. Well, that's a rare occurrence from the referees. Actually let the game breathe for once. Now, let's see if we can get a finish now and take this into extra time. From a neutral's point of view, I'll be glad when it's all over, because it's been not remembered for football, but then for drama. You want to see the Dutch equalise and stay in the competition. Another, well, that didn't look a foul to me either. He took the ball for me, and once again the Argentinians have won a free kick under very dubious circumstances. Luke, it's I mean, they're celebrating as if they've won the World Cup there. The goodness, can't believe it. I have to say, with all due respect in the world, I have a lot of sympathy with it.
They're just going down every opportunity to waste time and get free kicks. I mean, it's a classic time-wasting technique, and the referee's falling for it because he's so gullible.
He's also Spanish, which doesn't help things, and there may well be questions asked from the Holland camp. Why was a referee from Spain in charge of a game involving Argentina? But you've got to put those feelings aside, and to be fair, two pieces of Messi genius have probably decided it. In fairness, Messi's been penalised and still hasn't picked up a yellow card, although he's committed a few bad misdemeanors himself tonight. It's got to be said. So we've got, what, minute and 15 of the 10. Again, I should stress it's a minimum of. Ball chipped forward and it's hooked away by Argentina for a throw-in to the Netherlands. Holland are given their own name. Can they create something now? With the ball played in by De Jong. That's Frankie De Jong to you and I. The ball played in now. What's the referee giving here? Free kick, Holland. Vanishing spray comes out for the umpteenth time tonight. How many times have I said that? Foul on Weghorst, and that was a clear push. That was a more clear-cut free kick than a few of the Argentinian ones that they've got. So, we are now in the last minute of the 10. We're right at the end of the last knock-ins. It is gone 9 o'clock in the UK. It's gone midnight in Qatar. It's now or never for Holland, who have never won the World Cup, 3 times runners-up. If they want to stay in this one, they have to score this free kick. It's now or never. Referee, I hope he never gets another big match like that again, because his refereeing has been nothing short of pathetic. And Lionel Messi at the end comes a bit too late, in my opinion. Should have had it 20 minutes earlier for the handball. He's finally got his booking, but it's come 20 minutes far too late for my liking. So a free kick. We've played 10 minutes. We're now playing time added on at the end of time added on. Cody Gakpo or De Jong, Gakpo or De Jong have the opportunity here. Will it be Frankie De Jong? It's going to be De Jong. He's played it in, and it's a goal! At the end, it's got an extra time. It's Weghorst, and the Dutch are out of jail for the moment anyway. It's 2-2, Luke.
Wow, I mean, I couldn't see that coming.
What a clever free kick. And Weghorst, the man on loan to Besiktas from Burnley, has broken every Argentinian heart in the crowd, and the whole place is silent by a few Dutch supporters, and he's in tears, would you believe? And that is practically the last kick of the game. Lionel Messi's complaining. I don't see why he's got to complain. Let's see if he was offside. No, he's not for me. Aki may have been offside, but he's not interfering with play, in my opinion. The goal quite rightly should stand, and it should be extra time now, Luke. What a great free kick, though, and what a good finish from Weghorst.
Great free kick and a brilliant strike from Weghorst.
Well, we're going to go to extra time. There's no doubt about it now. Watch, we'll get a classic now this next 15 minutes. I can just see it now. Oh, my word. Well, I have to say, I've got absolutely zero sympathy with Argentina on this because they had the chance to really go for glory and go for free. But we always say in this game, 2-0 is a dangerous lead. And Holland must, the Bout Weghorst substitution, that was a piece of managerial genius, and that's why Louis van Gaal has always been paid the huge bucks by big clubs in his managerial career.
Yeah, but I hinted at it at half time. Get somebody on with big physicality, you have to play up to and get runners off, and you might get into the game.
Well, they may have waited 83 minutes, but they're certainly back in business now. Referee will bowl for the end of 90 minutes. Well, probably more than that, probably about 102 minutes at the end of it all. But at the end of it all, it is extra time, and we've got to go for another half an hour's more, and there's more bad scenes, I'm afraid, folks. There's Dutchmen in absolutely, well, it could end either side if this keeps up.
Oh, get the red card out and deal with this. This is ridiculous.
Rightly said. It is ridiculous, but we're just looking at Wout Weghorst. What a hero he's been for the Dutch, and well, it's shameful scenes, that is for sure. And hopefully everyone now has broke it up, and let's get a little bit of order and let's get some football played in this extra half an hour. So I'm just going to take a couple of minutes break because it's been quite the second half, and let's just get the views of Nicholas Jones and what he thought the second half turned out. I'll be back in about a couple of minutes for the start of extra time, but for now I'm going to hand you back to the studio and to Nicholas Jones. It's 2-2 at the end of 90 minutes. Extra time now to be played.
Thanks, JB. Well, what can I say about the second half? That was the standard of play. The standard of play and the refereeing was just absolutely ridiculous. I'm starting to get lost for words myself, and I'm trying to control my fury over this. But Luke, I'm sure you feel the same way as I do. Absolutely livid.
This is like one of the weirdest games of football I have actually watched. Like, the lack of control from the officials is totally ridiculous. I mean, I don't know what this game takes to actually need a red card, because, I mean, honestly, there must be about 7 players on each side that have got a booking. It's pathetic. Yes, indeed it is, and I have to say that this is the worst game I've ever watched. Not just for the TC Hub, but for the whole of my life. I'm not exaggerating here, folks. But we were hoping for something to happen. But the Netherlands, despite despite Weghorst coming on when he did, he should have come on right at the start of the second half, in my view. Wouldn't you agree? Well, I said it at half time, Nick. We need to get somebody up front with a bit of physicality to cause issues. And, I mean, he put on way too late. I mean, he put him on at half time, they could have probably have won it. But they waited until the most ridiculous of moments to put him on. They've now got this extra time. But it's ridiculous. They should have gone in with a physical presence from half time when they realised it wasn't working.
For a moment I thought Argentina were going to avenge justice for 98, but now they've got 30 more minutes But now they've got 30 more minutes in which to do so. To guide us through. Anyway, but before we do that, we've also got a comment from someone called Chris F asking for predictions for overtime. I can't really decide how it's going to turn out. I just want it to end. But Luke, what's your predictions for overtime?
A lot more cards with a yellow or red, a lot more fracas, a lot more drama, and maybe a goal somewhere. But knowing how extra time's gone in this tournament so far, we'll probably end up with penalties if there's actually enough players on the pitch to take them.
I'm really hoping it doesn't come to this. But we're going to hand back over to our comments. We're going to hand back over to Luke and John Stottard.
Thanks, Nick. Welcome back, everybody. Well, oh dear me. The first thing I thought when the whistle bolted for at the end, I thought, oh God, I'm going to be very eyed at swimming well tomorrow. But anyway, we're back with you live for the start of the second half. We're going to have a coin toss. And I just hope, Luke, we get a better extra time in the 90 minutes that have gone before. I know we've had drama and I know we've had 4 goals, but the indiscipline from both sets of players and the referee has left a lot to be desired. But let's just hope we get some good football now for the next half an hour or so. That's my hope anyway. What's yours?
That we get it decided within the next half an hour.
Well, that's our hope. I said 3-2, but I didn't say who. We're only 1 goal away from seeing what that could be. So just to remind you of the rules of extra time. 15 minutes aside each way. If it's level after the 15 minutes, we will have a penalty shootout. I never thought after 83 minutes we would get this. I've got to be quite honest, but we are there. But the Argentinian time wasting, I have to say, came back to haunt them. There's been no substitutions in between full time and the start of extra time, so it's as you were. I'm not going to run through all the teams again because there's been so many substitutions and stuff like that. It would be hard for me to keep up. But the Dutch are still in this competition. Hooker by Crook, they've held on in there to the very last. And are we going to see drama in the next half an hour? Well, a minute and 15. Carry on.
It's worth noting that Steven Bergwijn got booked in that gap as well. He's gone off.
Yeah, I'd gone off to, well, take a lie down for about 5 minutes, so thank you for pointing it out. Good value of having a good co-commentator alongside you. Well spotted, Luke. Bergwijn got booked. Goodness knows how many bookings and stuff we've had, and I think it might be worth checking the FIFA website at this point how many bookings that both sides have had, because the statistics have been beyond belief on this. And so we're still at 2-2, so let's check the stats. I think we've had, just trying to think now how many disciplines. We've had some in the region of about 11 yellow cards, which tells you everything you need to know about the indiscipline of certain. We've had 5 for the Dutch, 6 for the Argentinians. By the sounds of it, that's on the actual FIFA statistics. So, and obviously half of them came in at least 3/4 of them came in the last sort of 20 minutes alone. Oh, and we're 2-0 down, remember, after 83 minutes. With a brace from Valbrinkhoff, and now Otamendi was booked as well. So the yellow card count keeps piling up, Luke.
I really just don't know how there's a player on the field that's not been booked already.
Well, it's a mystery. That's all I can say about the whole situation. It's in a complete mystery how 2 great teams, and let's just Rebecca, who says thank you, and chat. Hope you're enjoying the commentary. Rebecca, if you are watching us on or listening to us on any of the YouTube platforms, please give whatever YouTube channel you're looking at subscribe. We're on JB Sports, Storm FM, TCB2, and Storm and JB Sports. We're also live on Turton Talks Football as well. Good evening again to you guys. And we're also on Twitch as well. Good evening to you listeners on Twitch as well. Don't forget, if you want to listen to the latest news and views and the latest breaking news, you can do so by our Twitter handle, incidentally, Commentary Live 1. Lionel Messi, incidentally, got our Player of the Match award. That will stay the same. Although we didn't realise what dramatic finish we were going to have when we had Luke to choose it, but he had chosen it a long time before, in fairness to him. And I don't think too many people could argue with that, but if the vote had been still open, Weghorst might have had something to say about that. 4 minutes gone in extra time then. Nothing significant has happened yet. I can tell you that Holland and Argentina are deadlocked at 2-2. And we are now 25 minutes away on penalties as things stand. Holland have it on the far side. Can they score again? They'll get it on the Weghorst's head towards the post. Manny Martinez was calm enough to let that one go onto the roof. And behind for a goal kick. But I've got to say, Luke, and I've got this feeling now, and I've been sitting on the fence since about 6 o'clock tonight, an hour before the start. And I have to say, the more you think about it now, the more you have to say it. And we wouldn't have said this half an hour ago, but the more you think about the game and how it's played out, you wouldn't be amazed if Holland got the next go in this game.
Well, I still think it's really hard to call, to be honest with you. Like, they've both been really similar. They've both been off it in a half. So, I mean, and then Holland have been a bit more on it this first 5 minutes. They're so similar in the way that they've been played that it's really hard to call.
Well, the team's deadlocked at 2-2. It doesn't amaze me in the slightest now, but both sets of players will obviously be frustrated and they'll be tired, they'll be jaded, there'll be all sorts. And with the World Cup semi-final place up for grabs, we hope it's not going to be decided on a mistake, and hopefully decided on a piece of pure genius out of any one of the 22 players out there on the field at the moment. And Weghorst, of course, is on a hat-trick, which half an hour ago we would never have envisaged saying at this point, which is quite a novelty. But 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes we've been played in extra time. Holland 2, Argentina 2. Croatia await the winners on Tuesday night in the semi-final, the first semi-final. And because we had so much incident, we forgot to promote the 2 commentaries we got coming up tomorrow as well on all platforms on the TC Hub. We've got tomorrow Portugal against the surprise package Morocco and Anas Sonori. Could they upset Ronaldo's boys? Find out with Luke and with Ross at 3 o'clock, and then Luke's back on duty again, this time alongside our presenter tonight, Nicholas Jones, for arguably, from an English point of view, the biggest quarter-final, biggest World Cup game since probably Croatia in 2018, as they take on the French and top scorer Kylian Mbappe. And you'll hear that around about 7:15 tomorrow evening, kick-off for that one, 7 o'clock. The other game, incidentally, will be on at 2:45 with a 3 o'clock kick-off UK time. Argentina have possession from the throw that was given. Ticking over towards 8 minutes gone in extra time. 2-2 it stands. Messi on the ball now. Picks up to Enzo Fernandez. Argentina's turn to attack now. Maybe we might see a bit more football. Maybe a bit more genius from Mercurio Messi. He's lost it this time. And here come the Dutch, and it's Weghorst on the run. Here he is, the big, or rather De Jong, sorry. And Weghorst Both tall men, really. Veghorst is waiting in the middle. De Jong takes it again. Goes down. Referee. Well, free kick to Holland. And they work the free kick to perfection. Russell disagrees with our findings that it was a free kick. It looked a foul on Veghorst to me, but Russ definitely saw it the other way. But, well, debate will run long into the night.
I mean, there's an argument to say that Veghorst did foul his knee, but he fouled his knee because he was also being fouled.
Well, you're damned if you give it, you're damned if you don't. I will defend the referee on that one. Free kick though, as the ball is swept into the area, easily defended by the Argentinians. There is a school of thought though, if the effort from Begunis had gone in before then, the Netherlands could have easily gone and won it themselves. That's a foul there by Denzel Dumfries. There's the free kick from Begunis, which quite frankly was feeble. So we're coming towards the 10th minute of the first period of extra time. Remember, it's 15 minutes each way. There's no decision, and we will have the dreaded penalties. And well, I don't know about you, Luke. I'm ready for a lie down.
Oh, honestly, JB, I've been ready for a lie down from about the 25th minute. So, I mean, this has been random. Now something's happened off the ball again.
Yeah, there's an off the ball incident here. And I wonder if Timber was the man involved. Messi's down again. I think this is genuinely an injury this time for Lionel Messi. And, well, let's see what happened. Well, what do you make of that then? Messi and Timber colliding. Was it accidental? Did Timber try to put Messi off? Well, free kick has been awarded to Argentina. I'm inclined to. Well, I've got to admit, I'm inclined to agree with you there. It took the referee something like a good 20 seconds to realise what had happened. And again, you've got to question the referee's integrity there. I think he tried to play fair. In fairness, I'll give the referee a little bit of credit. I think he tried to play on, and then because of Messi's injury, I think he had to, because of their head clashes, he had to compel to stop it, I think. And I'm going to defend the referee on that one. Messi with the free kick into the area, again very poor, keeping in tune with most of the set pieces, apart from the one that led to the second Dutch goal and the equaliser from Veghorst, which has took the game into extra time. Well, we're now in the last 4 minutes of the first period of extra time. Van Gaal and Lionel Scaloni know the importance for both sides. And the Argentinians in the crowd, mostly Argentinian, outnumbering the Dutch support by something like 9-1 or 8-2, whichever way you want to look at it. The majority of them can't believe that their team have let a 2-goal lead slip. But as we've always said in the game, Luke, when you go 2-0 up, often sometimes if you don't get that third goal, the opposition can gain confidence from that, and that's exactly how it's happened for the Dutch. They're backing it, and that's why we're in extra time.
Well, I always hate 2-0 because you always know that a 2-2 is probably on the horizon, and Argentina more or less thought it was won.
We appear to have lost. We appear to have lost JB, so I'm going to have to. So I'm going to have to let Luke take over from here.
Okay. Tagliafico. I generally have no idea what I'm doing, but okay.
Oh wait, Luke,
Yeah,
don't worry. We maybe back. Never mind.
Yeah, sorry, I lost contact there, but I lost my microphone went too early, but I've got the thing back. Thanks, Nicholas. Thanks, Luke. We're back now. We're back with the commentator anyway. For at least another 2 minutes, and then we'll be having a quick chat with Nicholas Jones in the SWAT round. At the moment, it's still 2-2. JB, John Stuttard and Luke Turton here in the commentary box. Nicholas Jones hosting tonight. saving his voice for the big one tomorrow night, England against France. You'll be able to hear that with him and Luke tomorrow. Don't forget, semi-finals. Russ will be commentating on one, Mike the other. And then Luke and I will be back together a week on Sunday for the big one, the final. Here's Messi with a free kick chipped in there, and there's Otamendi got free at the back post and couldn't stretch out the leg, and it's gone behind for a Dutch goal kick. But you have to say that free kick from Messi, again, pure magic and pure genius. It's just a shame Otamendi wasn't 6'6" like Weghorst is, otherwise that might have been 3-2.
Yeah, just couldn't quite get there and reach the ball. The ball was probably a bit too far in front of Otamendi anyway.
Well, there we go. It's been one of those nights where anything can happen in this crazy game. We're now inside the last minute of normal time at the end of the first 15. And as each minute ticks by now, I get the sense that penalties are not far away, unless there's one. But we hope there's a winning goal, but I hope it's not won or lost on a mistake. No player should be ever having to deal with a burden of their mistake costing his team a World Cup semi-final place or being knocked out of the World Cup. Tragedy of it is really, the worry is that if you cost your team, it costs you for another 4 years before you can put it back right again. And that's why sometimes teams will take a defensive stance in certain aspects of the knockout rounds. I have to say, these two have slugged it out, quite literally, on and off the pitch. In fact, that's the end of the first half. There was no extra time to be added on, which was a stark contrast to the end of the second half. But it's still 2-2, not many. There was that one chance for Otamendi at the end of the first period, but apart from that, not really much else. So we're going to go back to Nicholas Jones for about a couple of minutes, and then I'll be back with the extra time, second period. With the scoreline still, Nick, Netherlands 2, Argentina 2.
Thank you, JB. Don't go away for the time being, because I was going to ask, what do you think both sides have improved on throughout the first period of extra time?
Well, to be quite frankly, there's not been much in the way of the attacking, as I said at the summing up of the all, with that chance for Otamendi. But I think both teams now, Nick, as we now, I think the nearer, I mean, I don't know how Luke feels about it, but I certainly do. I think both sides now don't want to lose what they've got, and I think it's increasingly likely that we could have a penalty shootout. But I just hope. What I will say, Nicholas, at this point, before I just take a couple of minutes breathing space, is as the players take drinks now. I just hope the game isn't won or lost on a mistake, and I hope it's won by a piece of pure genius. Yes,
thank you very much for those thoughts. It's been the first period of extra time to me has been kind of something of a stalemate. Nobody's ever really pushed forward. So I kind of get what JB is saying. So 15 minutes until penalties, and 15 minutes before the penalty shootouts. Luke, what do both sides have to do to get themselves in front and to win, besides scoring goals, obviously?
Just push forward a bit and take a bit of a risk. I mean, I know you're 15 minutes away from defensive penalty. Nobody wants to go out on a penalty shootout. So you've just got to push forward, try and generate something, and hope that it kind of progresses into something exciting.
Currently it's like a game of noughts and crosses. It's currently like a game of noughts and crosses. All the spaces are being filled up quickly without a clear winner. And Montiel's coming on as a substitute, I see. So now let's hand over back to Luke Tyerson and John Stothard.
Yes, and we're back underway, Nicholas. But they started the second half, and it is, as you quite say, Montiel has come on as the Dutch try to clear. What the referee given this time? He's sticking into his pocket again. Fernandez was hurt. I think it's a free kick to Argentina on the right hand side this time. They've taken it quickly with Messi. Here's Montiel, but the referee wasn't happy with Messi there for taking it far too quickly. Maybe not on the right spot. They've taken it from the right spot this time. Montiel slips, but it gets a corner. So the start of the second half was an all-action first 60 seconds. And Messi, the magic man who's not really covered himself in glory despite 2 or 3 pieces of pure genius tonight, will take this corner. Well, as I said in the little turnaround with Nicholas, I just hope it's not one on a mistake. With Messi with the corner, and that's too close to Mopef, who's had a terrific game, I have to say, in the Dutch goal. Very confident goalkeeping there, Luke Turton.
Yeah, that's brilliant goalkeeping from the part there. Just reached up and claimed the ball, and then just landed on it and tried to get a bit of time out of the game still. Yeah,
absolutely. Easy for him to say. I don't know what that means, DD, but if you would like to comment, try and comment and let us try and read that better. Please do keep your comments coming in. Still, I stress again, keep it clean, make sure it makes sense so we can read it out on air to you, so we can give you a shout out. Don't forget, any of the YouTube channels, hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications bell. You are listening on JB Sports. We are now just less than 20 away from that 1,000 subscriber mark. I'd love it if we could hit it in the next week or so, folks. So please, if you are on JB Sports and you haven't subscribed, hit that notification bell, hit that like, subscribe button. And that goes for any of the other YouTube partners, including Turton Talks Football, which is taking this feed tonight. And we thank Luke for that. And we also are on Storm FM. Subscribe to that if you're there. Also, TC Hub and TC Hub 2, please. And if you are listening on Twitch, look at that foul count. Netherlands 25, Argentina 17. You have to say the referee has been nothing short, Luke, of fussy. And that's putting it mildly.
Yeah. I would say not one for letting the game flow. Let's put it that way.
Well, it hasn't helped, really. And we sat here in this commentary position about 2 hours ago. And it was literally 2 hours ago when we started this commentary, or 2.5 hours ago when we started this commentary. And we were hoping for a classic. Well, we've got 4 goals and drama. But as far as good attacking football has been concerned, we've had anything but the sort. But at least we've had drama. That's one thing we can guarantee. And there's been plenty of talking points. Another foul. And this time on Messi. And that was clear cut by Gakpo. And Messi now moves to 4 goals and he's now outright the second top scorer. Yellow card has been given. I'm not sure. I'm losing count now. It's Montiel who's got booked. And he's one of the players that's already walking a tightrope. And he misses along with Acuna. The next game, should Argentina get there?
He only came on in about 4 minutes ago. He's got booked. Really?
Well, I'm not sure what he's got booked for as well. That's another. Anyway, we'll come back to that in a minute. Messi tries the shot from his own free kick, and from a short free kick, and in the end, great skill building up to it. But unfortunately, the finish that preceded it, Luke, was quite frankly feeble, shall we say? Stronger words than that to describe it, but feeble we'll stick with.
Rubbish. It was rubbish, JP.
It's going to be one of those evenings, isn't it, Luke? You know, we've lived through it. I just hope Russ pays us triple time for this. It's all up. Russ might get your wallets out. You're going to have to pay me and Luke triple time. We don't come cheap. Here come Holland again. I'm only kidding, guys. Don't worry. Don't get your wallets out. Anyway, 2-2 it is. We've played 20 minutes of extra time, 5 minutes of the second period. At least through the players. Pekos is managing a bit of a smile out there, and now the referee's getting involved again. Oh, he's sort of getting frantic out there now. Another. Well, was that a foul? Probably not. Now Angel Di Maria is going to come on, and it's hard to believe that less than 10 years ago, this man cost Manchester United nearly 60 million quid. When Louis van Gaal, of all people, brought him to Old Trafford. He's up against his former manager. There's a Dutch player gone tumbling. Referee quite rightly plays on. All knocked away by Van Dijk as the Argentinians try to play the ball in. Well, we're 10 minutes away, well, less than 10 minutes away from penalties. Off comes Wasano Martinez of Manchester United. So our current Manchester United player is replaced by a former one, Angel Di Maria. So, Luke, we've got 9 minutes to go. Let's just break off for a second because the Dutch are on the break here. And that's a fantastic tackle, I thought. And oh my word, that is a poor decision from the referee. Paredes, for my money, clearly got a good clean tackle in. And the Spanish referee, I don't know what was going through his head at the time. But that, in my opinion, is not a yellow card. Brazil can't believe it. For me, that is an exceptional tackle, and the referee felt compelled to give a free kick. Absolutely pathetic.
Wow. Just wow.
I think the referee will be involved in about 3,000 of these talking points come the end of this one. It's certainly going well down in World Cup history. There's no doubt about this one. Free kick to Holland. 2-2 it remains. Chip forward. Weghorst 3. Couldn't shoot. Oh, it was De Jong rather than Weghorst. Weghorst wears 19, but there was a flag up, I think, for offside anyway. I think it was offside, or was it a foul? I just don't know what he gave it for. It wasn't that much of an infringement. I don't know what the referee's giving it for there. Was it hands? This is on a postcard, Luke. Substitution. Gapo off. Right out to his 3 goals for the time being. Lang is on. So maybe substitutions being made, possibly with penalties in mind. Your views on that free kick there, which didn't seem to be any infringement to me?
I have absolutely no idea, JB. I think we're just as clueless as everybody else watching this game now. The referee's in a mind of his own.
Well, any listeners out there, tell me what answers. Put your answers on a postcard. What that free kick was for, please, and send it to JB Sports, Burnley, W12 BB18 6W whatever. Anyway, free kick, and so this time to Argentina. I mean, the amount of fouls we've seen in this game. I'm just trying to whack my brain. What's the most fouls ever given in a single World Cup game? Anyway, let's come back to that in a minute because Argentina are on the break, but the Dutch are trying to make a bit of a hawks of clearing it. Comes to Di Maria now. Now, will we see a bit of magic now? Try and talk about a bit of magic. Argentina have a chance. Oh my goodness. Van Dijk must have got there. It looked to all the while as if Argentina were about to make it 3-2. Martinez, and look at that, the chest of Van Dijk. What a block that was.
What a block. What a block.
They're claiming handball. It certainly wasn't. You can't give handball for a chest. I'm sorry, it just doesn't work. The referee was quite right to give the corner. Di Maria towards the near, and that clearance was a lot to be desired, and Van Dijk had to hoist it away. Goodness me. We're now 5.5 minutes away, possibly a little bit of stoppage time away from a penalty competition. Unless there's a piece of pure genius to decide it. Montel wins a corner off Weghorst. Are the Dutch going to hold on in there? It's all Argentina with Messi. Edge of the area now. Lines up. There's a shot lined up, deflected and on the roof of the net. Goodness me. Wow. It was Enzo Fernandez with the shot. It got a big deflection. And to be quite honest, that could have gone anywhere. 5 minutes to play. If we don't see any further scoring, we're going to penalties. That is the equation, and a simple one at that. Here comes the corner. Up go the heads. It was a Dutch head that got to it first. My goodness me. Di Maria, who took the original corner, fires another cross in, hits the defender. It's another corner, came off flank. Wow. Well, the nervous tension is there. Di Maria to take another corner. We're seeing a frantic finish here. Penalties, it looks like header one inside the area and over the top from Pezzarella. And a goal kick and a bit of respite, Luke, for Holland at this stage.
Yeah, Holland need to get out because in a minute they're under pressure.
That was the effort that deflected just over there, Luke. It would have been tough on Holland if that had gone in. It would have been cruel whether it had happened at one end or the other. But I mean, that block from Van Dijk was something else. I can't believe the Argentinians tried to claim hands for something that clearly hit his chest. And then another Argentinian going down, and yet another free kick. This must be a World Cup record, Luke. It has to be.
Well, it must be a record for the amount of players going on the floor.
I mean, I'm sitting there and just sniggering about this because I've never seen a World Cup game. I've seen hundreds and thousands of games of football, and I've never seen as many fouls in a game like this. But wait a minute, just thought for a moment Vigos was getting in there, but out came the goalkeeper. In fact, I don't think it was. I think it was Begunis, but he was just beyond Vigos. Goalkeeper Martinez, he didn't have it initially and then got it at the second attempt. Nervous moments there for Argentina there, Luke.
Yeah, definitely a nervous moment there.
Mike says this game's been crazy. I'm surprised we haven't seen a red card yet. He also goes on to say the referee hasn't had a clue. It wouldn't be surprising if it's won by a dodgy referee decision, the way he's making them. And do you want Vegors back? Yeah, I would actually. If Vincent Company could get him back in the second half of the season, I think he could score goals at championship level. And if he was given certainly with our style of play, I don't think he suited Sean Dyche's or Mike Jackson's way of playing. Considering that I still think he's a class act. I've scored 6 goals this season for Besiktas in the Turkish Super League, so he still has a bit about him, and as he's proved in the world stage, he's still a world-class act. Here comes Holland again with Begunis, and he gets the cross in again, looking for the big tall player of big horse, but Martinez, very confident catch this time. Well, let's hope the winning goal, if there is to be a winner, isn't referee influence, as Mike rightly said, and we hope we nearly saw a bit of genius there. It was Martinez with the shot, and Norpef, who's in fairness not put a foot wrong all night, to be fair, made a good save, but albeit a comfortable one. Rather Argentina now level with the 18-yard box on the left hand side. Still 2-2. Luke?
Yeah, comfortable for no part, but a brilliant strike from Martinez.
One of the better strikes we've seen in the game all night. So we're a minute away plus stoppage time from that dreaded P word. Penalties, and that's when it could all turn on a nervous penalty, a goalkeeper being a hero. Well, let's just see if there's a bit of magic in the dying embers of extra time. It's going to take a bit of genius. Maybe Messi's meant to provide it. He pulls the shot wide. And all the while, Luke, with all these missed opportunities now for Messi and co, the more likely it's going to be penalties.
Yeah, it's looking more and more likely, isn't it?
Having said all that, it did deflect, so it may have been on target. It's a corner. Di Maria with it. In it goes towards the near post. The goalkeeper having to palm that over. Another Argentinian corner. That was a fantastic corner, and the goalkeeper had to be alert. Di Maria took a very good corner. He goes short to Messi this time from the second corner. And again, the shot from outside the area to the post. Unbelievable. It's a goal kick. But Fernandez has just hit a screamer here. And it's hit the bottom of the post, Luke. Would you believe it? It's hit the left-hand post. We're now into stoppage time at the end of extra time. Oh my goodness me. The Dutch survive by a coat of paint. What an effort.
Yeah, that was a pretty decent strike, and it hit the post. That's just our luck, really, isn't it?
Well, it gives us more drama for penalties, that's for sure. If the goalkeeper should kick away with them, then, well, we're into 1 minute anyway. I don't know why FIFA just don't, as soon as the added board comes up, just put your graphic on screen. That really annoys me as a commentator when that happens, but we're now played the 1 minute, and there will be no more, I'm afraid. So the sides are deadlocked, and for the second quarter-final running, we have a quarter-final, second game running at this World Cup. We go to a penalty shootout. The sides are deadlocked at 2-2, and I'm going to take 5 minutes breather whilst Nicholas and Luke chew the fat on what's been a dramatic, if not a classic, 120 minutes, but millions of talking points. And I don't envy them having to go through all these. After extra time, it's 2-2, but penalties coming right up. Back to Nicholas Jones.
Thanks, JB. Well, there has been some improvements in my view, but not a lot. Would you agree, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, a slight improvement, but I mean, it wasn't great, was it, Nicholas?
No, it certainly wasn't. And now it's a case of deja vu, because remember, back in 2014 at the semi-finals, it went to penalties as well. Argentina won the shootout 4-2. Can they do it again this time?
That's the big question, isn't it? I mean, it all depends on how good your nerves are.
What kind of nerves will both of them be taking going into the shootouts?
Well, you just don't want to miss a penalty at this stage in the competition, because if you miss a penalty, then it adds the pressure onto the next guy that steps up, and the next guy that steps up, because if you get at least 2 or 3 wrong, then if the other team capitalise on it, you're more or less done. Really.
We have seen games in the past go to sudden death. Do you think sudden death could be likely?
Well, with this game, they're trying to make it as long as possible. So, yeah, I think it's a heavy possibility, Nicholas.
Yes, indeed it is. Now we're going to quickly take through some of the comments. Mike saying these games are giving me a headache. I think I'm going to need a nap after these today. Lol. And Paul is saying penalties exciting. And Mike's also saying, let's see if Argentina are going to put Messi on early on the penalties, rather than what Brazil did by leaving Neymar to the end. Should they put on Messi early?
At least either number 1 and number 3. Don't leave until number 5. He gets to be a crucial number.
Okay, the referee's now going to go through like the coin toss. So penalties. So the penalties are almost upon us. Let's now rejoin Luke and JB Stuttard.
Thank you, Nicholas Jones. Welcome back, everybody. And the penalties, I can tell you, are going to be taken away to my left. Virgil van Dijk won that particular toss. Now they're tossing up for who's going to take first. Let's see who wins that one. I think Virgil van Dijk won both of those. Now, Luke Turton alongside me, as Andy Martinez trots towards goal. What psychological advantage will that have with Virgil van Dijk winning both tosses? Does it affect it so much? In fact, he's going to be the first up. But does it have an advantage, or is it just down to who's got the bottle on the night?
I think it's just down to who's got the bottle on the night and how good the penalties are. I think which end the penalties are at are pretty irrelevant in my opinion.
Well, who knows? Anyway, just to remind you the rules: 5 statutory penalties each. If they can't be decided after 5, it's sudden death. I'll explain all that if we get that far. Virgil van Dijk to go first for the Dutch's first penalty out of 5. He's up against Andy Martinez, who can't go off the line before the kick has been taken. Going to be right-footed Van Dijk, and he's saved! Advantage Argentina. And of course VAR will check whether he moved off the line. Well, he didn't move off the line for my money. He's on the line as it struck. That's a good save, isn't it, Luke?
That's a brilliant save because it's quite high up in the goal. Well, it's quite low, but it's a good save.
It's a good act for the goalkeeper, I think, is the term. Lionel Messi, the Argentinian captain, you were discussing with Nicholas just a few moments ago, or Luke was. Would he go first or third? Luke said he'd go first or third, so his prediction was about spot on. Now, no path against Messi, round 2. Messi scored last time to make it 2-0 in the game. But this Battle of Worlds is a completely different kettle of fish. Left foot Messi, shortest run up. And that is a beautiful penalty. Sent the keeper the wrong way, gives it the fist pump. And after one penalty each, Luke Turton, it's the Netherlands 0, Argentina 1.
Yeah, so it's advantage Argentina. That was a decent penalty. Let's see if all the rest of the Argentinians can follow suit now.
Well, let's hope so. Well, the Dutch turn to go next. It's their number 11, Bakunis. Kenny Martinez. Saved well from Van Dijk, although Van Dijk may have telegraphed it a little bit. Going to be left-footed like Messi. Longish run up, steps up. And the goalkeeper saved it again! 2 kicks for Holland, 2 saves for Martinez. And again, VAR will check whether he moved off the line. Martinez takes the applause and is turning into a Dutch tragedy here. No problem there, Luke. Great save.
Yeah, again, but that's not a great penalty. I mean, it's too straight in the middle. You need to get a motivation curl on that.
Well, it means now that Paparez can make it 2-0 here. The goalkeeper Norpart needs to save. Going to be right-footed. And it's 2-0. The goalkeeper gets right. So did the kicker. And it goes into that corner. 2-0 to Argentina. And 2 penalties each have been taken. And that's the way, Luke, to take a penalty.
Yeah, that is exactly how you should take a penalty. The power on it, the actual direction on it. You're not saving this.
Well, now the pressure now is on the next kicker, which is Kunamanas, who has to score really. If he fails, and Argentina score their 3rd, it's game over. So Kunamanas must stick this into the back of the net. The Dutch don't have a good record on penalties. They lost to Italy in Euro 2000 on spot kicks. And he scores this time. Good penalty, and they needed that. And Kunamanas responded in the grand manner. Holland 1, Argentina 2. Argentina have a kick in hand.
That was a stunning penalty. Beaten and all ends up with that huge amount of pace on the ball.
And the next one up is the substitute, number 4, Montel. Came on during the extra time. Now, can he put his team on the verge of semi-final glory? Or reaching the semi-finals as well. Quarter-final glory, I should say. Montel steps up, sends the keeper the wrong way into the right-hand corner, and Argentina are just 1 save away from being in the semi-finals. What a penalty, Luke.
Yep, another stunning penalty. This is some great ones and some shocking ones in this game, but yeah, that was brilliant.
And 3 out of 3 for the Argentinians, you've got to say, when it's mattered, their penalties have been superb. Now, I really hope Vigos can score here. He has to score, and I dearly hate to see him miss this one. As a Burnley fan and a real staunch Burnley fan, he's been the hero. Can he keep Holland in it? Come on, Wout Weghorst, you can do it, sunshine. To keep Holland in it, he has to score, and he does, thank God. into the left-hand corner, because as a Burnley fan, and a die-hard one at that, I'd have hated it if he'd missed. It's 3-2 now. Good penalty, that.
Right in the corner. That was right buried into the corner.
And now what's going on here? There's Di Maria and Dumfries. It's been, oh my word. They're even having fracas during a penalty shootout. I've seen it all now. I really do have. Now then, if Argentina score this penalty, it's all over. If Enzo Fernandez scores, it's all over. And Argentina will play Croatia on Tuesday night in the semi-finals. He has to score this. Holland need a penalty save from Nopet. It's going to be straight, almost like a fast bowler's run-up. It's going to be right-footed, that's for sure. This to take Argentina through. And they've missed it! And the drama intensifies. And Holland have to score the draw level, and the possibility to draw level. But Argentina still, Luke, thankfully have a kick in hand, because Argentina have missed one compared to Holland's two.
That was an absolutely woeful accuracy penalty. Wow.
Well, it still means that De Jong has to score here, and he checks and he scores. That's a great penalty for Martinez. The teams are level, but Argentina still have one of their statutory five still to go. That was a cool penalty from De Jong, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was brilliant.
So now it all comes down to this. Yellow cards again being brandished, and that's a shame. That just keeps in tune with the way the referees handle things, really. He lost control about 2 hours ago, if I'm being honest. But let's concentrate on the penalties now. If Martinez scores, it will be all over. Goalkeeper playing mind games now at this stage. I'm not even sure who got the yellow card, and quite frankly, I don't care at this point. All that matters now, if Martinez puts this away, Messi will be one step nearer his dream. And Argentina as well. This has to go in. Can the goalkeeper fall off the save? Martinez for Argentina! Argentina are in the semi-finals. It's been a marathon, but it's Argentina's night, on a night really where both teams have really not performed to their best. The Dutch were 2-0 down, got themselves into it, and then them two saves from Manny Martinez were enough to take them through. And to be quite frank, I just hope there's no there's more disgraceful scenes. Oh my word, this is kept in tune with everything. Messi's not joining in, thank God. He's enjoying the moment, and why not? But there are more disgusting fracas down below me. One can understand Holland's frustration, but their penalties, at least two of them, were diabolical. About Weghorst, he's got nothing to be too upset about. He did his bit. If some of his teammates didn't, Holland bow out. But it's Argentina who go through to play Croatia. Well, what drama have we had here tonight, Luke?
It's been insane, but I mean, where is the kind of levels of kind of just common sense? And there's no need to keep fighting with people, even after the game is done. Like, where is the sense in that? You've lost, deal with it.
Yeah, well, I can understand Weghorst crying now. You know, he's done, to be fair, as a Burnley fan, I want to shed a tear or two for him as well. He's a nice guy, really, about Weghorst. I mean, he scored his penalty, and his two goals really got Holland back in the hunt, didn't it? And there's nothing you can legislate for a winning penalty like that. The goalkeeper, Moppart, went the wrong way. Nothing he could have done. But Argentina's luck holds firm. They do have a good record, incidentally, on penalty shootouts. Incidentally, they won two in Italia United. They famously beat England in 1998. They've certainly done it today. 4-3 they've won on penalties. Well, I think Luke Turton and I, after 2.5 hours of constant commentating, need to calm down off the clouds, if you like, and enjoy the moment. They're in a huddle now. I'm pleased to say there's no more shenanigans as far as the fight is concerned. One has to have sympathy for Wout Weghorst. He's in tears, he's upset. It wasn't him who let the team down today. One or two of his teammates. I'm afraid to say Virgil van Dijk's penalty was one of the worst things he's done as a player. But it's a shame when players miss penalties. But then I'm just glad it was won by a penalty success rather than a missed penalty. Because, let's face it, no one wants to go out the World Cup missing a penalty. My thanks to Luke for sticking by me for 2.5 hours. Well, it's definitely Croatia and Argentina in the one semi-final, which you can hear on the TC Hub. The other one tomorrow. Just to remind you, it's going to be Morocco against Poland. Join us at 3 o'clock for that one. And at 7 o'clock, Nicholas and Luke will be in the commentary box for England against France. And if them two games live up to the drama that we've had this afternoon and this evening, well, they'll have to go some, that's for sure. Well, it's finished 2-2 here, Nicholas, and Argentina sneak it by 4 goals to 3 after the statutory 5 penalties. I need to lie down. Nicholas, all yours.
Thank you very much, JB. You go and take your lie down. You deserve it. Argentina get their revenge for 1998, and I have to say, Luke, those penalties were well taken.
Yeah, the Argentina penalties were absolutely brilliant. I mean, they're put in places where the keepers will struggle. They really will struggle to save them, and you've got to give Argentina credit for that.
Scaloni got it right, didn't he? By putting on Messi early, and Messi was well rewarded with that.
Yes, it makes sense to have your best player taking the penalty first. It takes the pressure off. You don't have to worry then because you've at least got one in the bag. Unlike with Van Dijk, where he totally messed it up. A defender should not be taking the first penalty, regardless of whether you're captain or not. It should be your best striker taking the first penalty, and honestly, it's paid for them tonight.
Yes, it certainly has, and from I think the early part of the second half, the Netherlands were Holland was pretty much nowhere, and all I can say is, I agree with you and JB. They completely paid for that, and the hype that they had in the build up to this, was all for nothing. Argentina make their way through to the semi-finals where they face Croatia, and it's a great and all I can say is that Messi takes another step closer to making it. To achieving his dream, which he so nearly did in 2014. But before we go, just a quick. But before we go, seeing as you're going to be with me for England against France tomorrow. How do you think England will do? How do you think England will do against France?
Well, it's not going to be an easy game, Nicholas. They've got some really decent players in the France team, but I still think that we do have enough to potentially edge it in the positions going forward. If we take the game to France, then we've got more than enough up there to trouble their back line worries. So, but I'm not going to call it this early.
No, probably a good idea. I don't think I should call it this early either. My thanks to Luke and JB for bringing us their unique and brilliant commentary, and we're just about out of time. So before we go, it's Morocco. Just to remind you, it's Morocco against Portugal at 3 o'clock tomorrow with Russ and Luke as the commentators, and And tomorrow it's the big one, England against France, with myself and Luke on commentary. So it went from the worst game that I've ever seen in living memory to a game that was decided on penalties that were clinically and well done and well taken by Argentina. Even though it almost went to sudden death, Argentina just proved that they were the strongest out of the two. Thank you for listening. Good night to you all.